Oh, we got a great twit coming up for you. Hi, everybody. Leo Laporte here. Joining me this week, my old friend Gina Smith. She and I wrote my first book way back when. Gina's back. She also got me on TV and a bunch of other stuff. She was at Dvorak's funeral. We'll talk about that. My dear friend Denise Howell is here, my internet attorney, and accordion enthusiast and AI guru Joey Davila. Lots to talk about. AI watermarks. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And Mark Zuckerberg says, let the AI be free, but can we trust him with it? All that and more coming up next on Twit.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twit, This Week in Tech, episode 1097, recorded Sunday, August 16th, 2026. Gina and the Glueballs. It's time for Twit, This Week in Tech, the show we cover the week's tech news. Say hello to my dear friend, Denise Howell. Great to see you, Denise. Her current podcast is hearsayculture.com, and you've had some very, very good guests on.
I've had one of the best, being one Leo Laporte. It's great to be here.
So nice to see you, Denise. I appreciate it. Also with us, Joey Davila. It's great to see you.
Hey there, good to see you as well.
Globalnerdy.com, good friend. Love the shirt. It's a camo Hawaii shirt, kind of.
Actually, this is in NetFoundry colors.
Oh, all right.
I'm flying the company flag today.
Is that khaki, white, and black? Or the
white, blue, white, blue, green, green, white.
Blue, green, white.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, it's good to see you.
Good
and
to
I
see
want to
you.
welcome back to our microphone. She hasn't been here in a few years, but it's so good to see my dear friend, Gina Smith.
Oh, Leo.
Who
It's
goes
so nice
so far back. We go so far back.
We hosted a radio show together for so many years.
Yeah, after Dvorak on computers, when John took off, Gina took over. And
That
then,
was like
but even
1991?
was that before we did the computer show?
Well before, 2
on
or 3 years
CNBC,
before.
and then we worked for Ziff Davis.
And
Gina went
CNET.
on to on my first book I wrote with you, 101 Computer Answers You Need to Know, which was originally 1001 Computer Answers, but the publisher decided that was too many.
I forgot that. Really? Were we going to do that?
We were going to call it, the title you and I came up with is How to Get the Dog Hair Out of the Disk Drive.
That's right. Cat hair. But yes, it was cat hair.
And the publisher did not like that, named it 101 Computer Answers. And shortly after our book came out, and ours wasn't that thick, I have one over here I'll pull out. But Kim Commando wrote one that was 1001 Computer Answers You Need to Know, and it was this thick. Which do you think people bought?
Yeah.
Oh, this one's 10 times more answers.
Well, we were all used to train AI. There's probably
That's true.
a lawsuit there. So.
Actually, I did do the search, when they were doing that, and a few of my books, not our book, but a few of my books were on that.
A few of mine, too. I wrote the Wozniak memoir.
I was. You did I was.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things that they sucked up.
Did you get your $3,000?
No, I'm waiting for it.
You did. You applied.
Oh, I totally applied
I
for
think the
that and
publisher
my
takes a
genomics
cut.
book.
Yeah. You did a book on genomics as well.
Yeah.
Also, well ahead of the curve. Very smart. Woz celebrated his, I think, 78th birthday last week.
That's right, August 11th.
Happy birthday, Woz.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's so nice. My son still calls him Uncle Steve, and nobody believes that he knows him. So his friends are constantly saying, "Does he really know him?" I'm like, "Sure, he does."
I got a Woz souvenir. I'm not. Oh,
Is it the weird bracelets?
Woz autographed it to my son. I still haven't given it to him, but maybe I'll give it to Henry when he gives me one of his sandwiches, which he still hasn't done. Remember Woz would walk around with $2 bills?
I have rolls of those somewhere. He signed them, huh?
Yeah, but it says to Henry, which kind of... Now, I have to say, I know Woz signed it because I was there. I'm thinking Henry wrote to Henry on that. Because it kind of doesn't... I don't know. Gina, can you validate the to Henry? Is that Woz's handwriting?
It does not look like his handwriting.
I think Henry wrote that.
Oh, it's different.
The Woz signature definitely is.
Oh, I know this is Woz. I saw him sign it.
Okay, because
we were on a cruise. We were going to Antarctica. It was a geek cruise, Mac Geek cruise, and we were going to Antarctica, and we show up all in heavy, outerwear because we're going to the cold. And the cruise director comes with the clipboard and the pilot comes with the clipboard and they said, well, the weather is just too tough. We're not going to be able to go there. And then I said, well, have you, what? I paid for this. Have you ever gone there? He said, no, we've never been able to go there, but we always schedule this.
We've never made it, though.
We've never made it. We live in hope. But instead, we're going to, and I can't remember the name of it, some beautiful mountain scenery. And all of us are sitting in this, bus going to the national park in Chile, in sweating in our Antarctic overclothes. And Woz takes off his overclothes and he's wearing shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Because that's how he dresses.
That's how he dresses.
And he was very comfortable. And so we saw the scenery. I have a picture of him signing the $2 bills. So
his whole gig with those $2 bills is that he gives them to you, but then he makes you swear that you'll go to Starbucks or something with them, and you have to let the whole roll fall and pull out scissors out of your pocket and cut, and then give it to the vendor. Yeah. And that was his requirement.
He tries to get them to say it's counterfeit.
That's the whole point.
He buys them from the Treasury uncut, and he'll say things like, this is official government
That's right.
money. He had this whole spiel that he would do, and his whole goal is, because he's such a prankster, to get them to call the feds. But it's real money. It's a real $2 bill.
He is a prankster, though.
Oh, he really was. I don't know why I keep saying was.
We put a prank in the Woz book. If you ever see it, we say the exact time on a digital clock that he figured out how to put a typewriter and a TV together with, computer circuitry. And he says, yes, I looked at the digital clock. It was 12:45:33 on this day, but it was long before anybody could buy these digital clocks.
We
just made it up.
Well, now it's no big, right?
Yeah.
Now nobody would question it.
Yeah, but if you ask AI, you can ask it exactly what time was the first personal computer put together. It'll give you this fake time that we put in as a joke.
So it's now in the training.
Yes, it's in the training. It's in the book.
I think that's awesome. And he didn't know that it was going to end up becoming part of an AI model. He just thought it was funny to put that in the book.
We just thought it would be funny to put a joke in the book. It's in right before the prank chapter. We thought that would give it away.
I love it. We have many.
And if you two aren't reliable sources, I don't know who is.
Well,
I would never hallucinate or lie to you. Never.
Yes.
A trivia book. Somebody who wrote a trivia book did poison a couple of trivia facts, quote, quote, facts in the book, just to catch people using it in their own material without attribution. And I think that
there's a tradition in map making to do that,
Oh, okay. No,
because people would steal maps, and so in the map making they'll put phony landmarks or phony towns, and then if somebody plagiarizes your map, you know it because the phony town will appear, and you go, aha! That's actually an old map maker's trick. There's a name for it. I'm sure the chat room will. Trap streets. Thank you, Patrick Delahanty. He knew immediately.
Well, there we go.
Or paper towns.
I'm going into the fake AI training business now. I think there's money in that.
There actually might be money in that. That's a great idea.
Please don't. Can I speak for all AI users? Please don't. Let's not pollute the source of our information.
No. I want. I'll just start spreading the rumor. You know those things in Raisin Bran? They're not raisins.
Yes, birds aren't real. But
and then you complain that AI is hallucinating. It's your fault.
But Leo, if you want to protect the AI quality, then you don't let private companies.
Well, I'm all in on local AI, and that brings us to Mark Zuckerberg's 6,500 word post. Which I tried to read, but I skimmed it. The future is
because he wrote it with AI.
I don't know. It doesn't have any AI tells in it, and I'm getting pretty good at detecting those because I talk to AI all day.
I couldn't.
But that's the tell is that how long it is. But I actually agree, and it hurts me to say this, but I agree with him.
Me too.
His whole premise is, as AI develops, the most important question we're going to deal with is He says the defining questions of our age are who will have access to superintelligence and what will we direct it towards? Will it be centralized and restricted to a few institutions, or will it be a tool that empowers everyone? And really, the whole piece is making the case for open weights, open models, no one company controlling this, no one government controlling it. Although he says, if you can trust government, it's not a bad idea for government to have some regulation on it. He believes everyone will have a personal, super intelligent agent, smarter than a PhD. Forgive me, Gina. Smarter than a lawyer. Forgive me, Denise. Both of you have higher degrees. And that this agent will be a really incredible, useful advisor. It'll be a tool for creation. It'll help people invent. And it all will happen if, and only if, it's free or affordable and widespread, he said, because the only way that we get something trustworthy and reliable is if everybody can use it. And I don't disagree with that.
Well, we lived through this with the internet, right? I mean, in the beginning, it was going to lead to all kinds of political independence, and the data was all going to be free, and it wasn't going to be selling you anything. And now it's a big consumer.
And you know why? Because Mark frickin' Zuckerberg,
he's part of it,
weaponized social media.
Yeah, totally.
And this is the only problem I have with this. And Mike Masnick put it beautifully in his Techter post. Zuckerberg's right about open, decentralized AI. He's also the last person you should trust to deliver it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He decentralized a good chunk of the web. I mean, a lot of people just think Facebook is the web. That's where they go.
Masnick says it seems the only reason he's pushing this vision now is Meta's losing the AI race badly. But let's look at Zuckerberg's history. As soon as he can take control and centralize it, as he did with Facebook and then Instagram, he does.
Well, this is true. I mean, this is exactly what he did. 2 years ago, he came out and said, decentralize, decentralize. And then what did he do? He privatized it, right? The next model. And now he's saying decentralize because it's
he's
good
back
for
again.
Meta.
But Joey, it's good, right? Because Meta did release the first open weight models, Llama. It was a perfect seed for open AI. A Llama CPP was written. It became the engine that people use to run open models. Ollama is based on Llama CPP. Then he stopped doing open models. And now he's released Glimmer, which is a really interesting, good local model. And it's promising to release Muse Spark, which he says is a frontier quality model. I played with Glimmer.
These are open weight, not open source, though.
Very important distinction.
Yes.
I agree.
Right. And the overarching vision is what I come down to and go, do we really want to be there with this personal agent that plays such an important role in people's lives? Do we really want to be there without a proper regulatory framework around what that looks like? And my answer to that is no.
Well, and he raises that issue, but I also am very nervous about the Trump administration's attempts to regulate AI because I don't trust them. And I shouldn't trust any government. On the other hand, that's the only way we as humans have a societal input into it. Needs to be regulated. I don't want these big companies with their vast monetization incentives to be in charge.
Yeah, and if AI infrastructure really is that important to you, do you want a company who's tied to quarterly results being the owner of that? I mean, it's nuts. I mean, we didn't put nuclear power in the hands of VCs. We certainly shouldn't put it in the hands of AI companies currently. Right. So Zuckerberg's right, but it's advantageous right now for him to say it. And will he turn his back on it, like Joey was saying?
Can you trust him?
No.
Bruce Schneier actually published a very interesting editorial opinion piece in the Guardian.
Yeah.
That kind of addresses this. The whole idea of it is it's too big to be owned by individual companies. He says government should privatize OpenAI and Anthropic.
Yeah. If they're not successful on the market, right? Isn't that what he said?
Too big to fail kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 It says
not a bad argument.
if
And
the markets reject OpenAI and Anthropic, the U.S. should nationalize them. He wrote this with Nathan E. Sanders. I don't know. That kind of makes me a little nervous.
The nationalization word is a scary one, but you could picture this government saying communism. That's communism. Yeah, but what are they doing with Intel? What are they doing? I mean, they are literally buying stakes in chip companies in exchange for keeping them afloat.
Well, people have pointed this out, that while Trump got elected as a populist, for sure, representing the voice of the people, his constituency, it turns out, is the very wealthy donors who are giving him lots of money. So he has two masters: the people who voted for him, who don't want data centers, who don't want untrammeled AI. They may not want AI at all. And the people who funded him, who are, surprise, building these giant data centers and creating these giant AIs. And his policy reflects that kind of duality, because he has talked about regulating. And when he got in office, the first thing he did is eliminate President Biden's AI regulation executive order. He said, no, we're not going to regulate. David Sachs, his AI advisor, said, no regulation at all. AI, if America's going to succeed, it has to be unregulated. It's the only way we can beat the Chinese at their own game. But now, after Anthropic released Mythos and Fable, everybody got so scared. Trump actually pulled Fable, said you can't use it.
Yeah.
Right.
And now is talking about, we're going to have everybody submit their new models to us for 30 days before it's released to make sure it's safe, which on the surface I don't think is a bad idea. Zuckerberg says 30 days and you're out of business. In this rapidly evolving AI world, you have 30 days to make a model succeed. If you are holding it back, it's too late. Somebody's going to eclipse you, maybe the Chinese.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hurting people, though, right? I mean, you've got AI in a situation where there are lawsuits around this. I mean, people are being harmed. Why wouldn't you regulate it? You've got Grok, automatically nudifying. I mean, somebody's got to regulate and protect people from this. And if it slows it down a little bit, is that bad? It's going so fast now, nobody can exert any governance over it, to Denise's point. We're not looking at the governance.
And I really want people with doctorate degrees in cognition fields like Gina to be taking a much closer look at the effects of when you have an AI tutor. Are you isolating children from a learning experience? Are you turning off portions of their brain that are necessary for learning?
What if the choice, though, is between a human tutor and no tutor?
I think
AI tutor and no tutor.
I think there's definitely a role for augmenting education and supplementing education with these tools. But there was a really good opinion piece in the New York Times in March by a guy named Cal Newport, who is, you may be familiar with him, Gina. He's a professor at Georgetown. And he cited a whole bunch of studies and research on the notion that the more we rely on these tools, the less we think, the less we're able to think. And we're able to do the complicated tasks that we're offshoring to them.
He says there's a good reason you can't concentrate.
Yeah.
It's called cognitive offloading.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the king of it because I have AI do everything for me now.
You have a lot of AIs doing things for you. But the other thing is, I'm not sure 30 days is enough time to evaluate a brand new model, especially the way models are advancing these days. I mean, even the TV show gives you 90 days to evaluate a fiancé. And
the new show is about a 30-minute fiance, but okay,
okay, but
90-minute fiance maybe.
And the idea is that fiance you're supposed to hang out with for a long time afterwards. The model maybe,
and that seems like a short time frame to marry somebody after 90 days. That seems very rapid.
And you are with that fiance. I mean, if all goes well, you are with that fiance who becomes a spouse for years. Whereas with a model, how long are you going to be with a model?
I switch models weekly. At least.
Okay, so...
but now here's the problem. And Darren Oakey, who is from Australia in our Discord chat, our Club Twitch chat, says, this is hilariously U.S.-centric, because so what if Anthropic and OpenAI pause? Will Alibaba pause? Will ZIA, will Moonshot pause, the Chinese companies? And in fact, I'm using a Chinese model as my main model right now locally because it's open weight.
The Quen?
Yeah. No, actually, I am using Quen, and I'm also using DeepSeek. I'm using 2 Chinese models.
Yeah, I use
there
both
you
of them too.
Yeah.
And they're very good. And they're very fast. In fact, DeepSeek is probably going to release a new version, open weight, of its Pro V4. Quen, Alibaba's Quen, is about to release 3.8 Max. It's coding and high-end model. I don't know if anybody will be able to run either of those locally, unless you have a lot more compute than I do. But
Well, maybe
aren't
this is
those
hard.
aren't those rapidly catching up with the frontier models made here in the U.S.?
If they are, maybe this is our chance to finally catch up in the education race that we've been running with China for so long, where they're producing people who are better educated, more competent, better thinkers in theory than we are. If they're offshoring more and more things to AI and not teaching people how to think, maybe we can get out ahead of that.
Well, it's interesting because over the years, China has done it. And Gina, you lived 7 years in Hong Kong, so you know this up close. So I'm not an expert on this, but for years, China has, despite their horrific human rights record, surpassed us in education, surpassed us in AI, surpassed us in energy. You know, their sustainable energy process is fantastic. They were, you know, you go to Beijing, you couldn't breathe 10 years ago.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
now
they
it's
fixed it.
beautiful. The sky's blue in
They
Beijing.
got rid of the coal and they started using sustainable energy.
Well, authoritarians get results.
That's true. The trains run on time. But that's the point. Is that maybe they're doing so well, Denise, because they have focused on education where we stopped.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I moved my son out to Asia when he was in the 8th grade. He was in all the top math classes, all the top science classes, got there, and he was immediately in remedial math and science.
You're kidding.
They are so far ahead with what they teach kids in math and science. It's not even funny. I mean, and Erica's a big basketball player. He thought, I'm going to join the basketball team. They don't do basketball. They don't have sports in schools. You can do sports, but it's not part of the academic experience. They're very serious. You know, I was one of those people a long time ago who would say, they should let American universities, bring on more American students, not lean so hard on foreign students. After living out there, I see exactly why. Yeah. Better students, better educated.
Yeah. In fact, many of our AI scientists here in the United States are imported from China.
Of course. And India.
India. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to when we're able to leverage AI to solve some of those kinds of problems here in the U.S. too.
See, this is the perfect duality, isn't it? That on the one hand, we think AI has some real promise. It's clearly changing the world. On the other hand, it's moving too fast. It's scary. It's bad.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, they're both true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
I think we slow it down.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
You got 1 vote, 2 votes for slow it down. Denise, you want to slow it down too?
I want to slow it down. And I'm with Mike Masnick that, Zuckerberg is not necessarily our banner waver for this.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Joey, what do you think?
Let's see now. I would say slow it down, and I would also say, you know what? Let's drag some kids to libraries. Let's get them to touch grass. Let's pull out some pencils and learn how to solve some problems with pencils.
Make them read a book.
Make them read a book.
I'm going to be the rat in the punch bowl. I think we should speed it up. I think we've said this about technology. They said when they got trains that it's going to go so fast, women are going to become infertile. They said when we got books, people will no longer use their imagination. They'll just get everything from books. They've said this time and time and time again. Technology scares people. In every case, not only have we adapted, we have gone farther because of technology. And I think AI offers the promise more than anything we've seen, maybe since the invention of fire, to advance humankind. And so I think all in on AI would be the smart thing to do, but all in a competitive way so that everybody does their darn best. That open weight models, I think, are super important. I don't want AI to be locked into any one company, especially a company like Anthropic or OpenAI. I actually celebrate the Chinese models and use the Chinese models. I think, believe it or not, I'm using Grok, which, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, but lately Grok's been very good. Let everybody compete and do the best they can, and let's get the best models we can, and let's stop holding AI back with this phony intellectual property BS. I know, Denise, you're an IP lawyer, but let's get all of humanity, everything we know, into these AIs. We don't know what they can do yet. Let them grow as fast as possible. That's my argument for it.
Well, my approach to this about getting back, doing some real thinking, cracking the books, breaking out the pencils and paper, is that I'm kind of disappointed we haven't had the Sputnik response that we did in 1957 when the Russians
Don't you think when DeepSeek came out, though, that a year and a half ago, there was a DeepSeek moment in AI where we went, whoa, the Chinese are good.
A little.
But nothing.
Not a Sputnik.
Nothing like what happened in the U.S.
You're right.
Post 1957. The new math, the science.
I was born in
programs.
1956. I was the child of that fear. I grew up watching us step by step go to the moon in 1969.
Yeah, but the
Sputnik.
The education programs, the investment, the care that the government, along with industry, put into making sure that we did not fall behind in the space race. I don't think we have that level of effort.
Forethought. There's not
agree.
that level of forethought.
100%. Instead of saying hold back AI, fund education, fund libraries, put AI in everybody's hands. Don't hold AI back because it's going to harm people's education. We have the worst educational system in the developed world. We've let it go completely because we don't fund it.
Leah, I was talking to Vince Cerf a couple of years ago. He's one of the original internet guys.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. But I said, is there anything you regret about the, coming with the internet and all of that? And he really, really regretted that there was no educational effort at the time to teach people to be able to look at something they see on the internet and gauge whether it's true or not. Fact checking, essentially.
Oh, that's what you studied, is cognitive psychology.
He said this was our big mistake. And that's a mistake I fear is happening again with AI. That and the misinformation. They've got to do something about this. There need to be laws.
Or no, they teach kids how to judge it, how to use it right. Teach them critical thinking. Don't make a law saying, oh, you can't, you hold back AI is not the way. It's and again, this is purely my opinion. And I know there's a lot of people disagree with me. In fact, this entire panel. But, I see parents tell their kids, you can't have access to the internet till you're 16. You can't have access to smartphones till you're 16. And all you get is a kid who hasn't been prepared for the world they're entering. And I think that the way to do this is not to restrict it, but to teach them how to use it, to teach them how to think about it, teach them critical thinking, because they're going to grow up in a world with it.
Yeah, bingo. I think you nailed that. And I'm not in the Jonathan hate camp of, we need to build a bubble around people and treat these things like they're a dangerous substance and try and send societal messages similar to what we do for drugs and alcohol and other things that are dangerous. However, 2 points. One is, you have a son close to this demographic, Leo, and Gina and I both do. That one observation I have about their generation is they are pulling back on their own. I mean, the ones who are intelligent enough to do it are, unplugging, making sure they have time where they're reading books, where they're writing in a notebook, where they're, doing things in a very analog way as a pushback to the way that they otherwise live. And then the coda to that is there are people who just don't have the judgment or the education, to your point, to know to do that. And those people, I think, are at real risk. And there's a doctor named Giovanni Colella, if I'm saying his name properly, who has a Substack newsletter that I get. And he had some serious pushback for Mark Zuckerberg and really pointed out, at-risk populations with an agent who is their best friend. And oh, by the way, as Mark goes on in his dissertation, we're gonna put all kinds of encryption and privacy around this so that there's no scrutiny of what's going on between you and your AI agent / overlord. And that's just a scary thing. I mean, that's how we've had people kill themselves already.
Yeah.
But do we want to regulate this stuff on the basis of the outliers? Because it's not thousands of people killing themselves. We don't know what the impact is. It seems to me wrong to regulate based on the worst case scenarios, the outliers. As bad as it is, as horrible as it is, I'm not denying that.
Yeah. You're making Elon's point about electric cars. We're going to kill some folks.
Yeah. But let's point out that self-driving cars, for all their flaws, are much better than humans.
Yeah.
And in the long run, we would all be much safer. Many more lives would be saved if all cars were self-driving.
Right. So it's just Darwinism, I guess, then.
Is there a middle ground? Is there a way to do this so you cause no harm and yet you make progress?
I hope so. I'd like to get there.
I hope so. I mean, they're in the news this week. Google Gemini? They're removing the AI tags, the watermarks, where they allow you to...
let's pause. I want to take a break, but I do want to talk about watermarks because that is another
That's part of this
hot
discussion.
button. It's part of this discussion. What a smart panel. I'm so glad to have you all. Joy DeVilla, it's great to see you. Congratulations on the Net Foundry job. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much. They're a great company.
Yeah, it is. Well known in the biz and doing a lot of interesting stuff with AI as well. So
that we are.
Thrilled to have you on. Denise Howell, attorney at law, my internet attorney, although she takes no responsibility for my actions and it's quick to say so. But you're always saying, Leo, you shouldn't really be doing that. I know. Hearsayculture.com is her podcast site. It's great to see you, Denise. And my dear friend, who I haven't seen in ages, co-author of my first book. And by the way, I was in Vegas for Black Hat a couple of weeks ago. I guess it was last week. Feels like ages ago. And I thought back and I said, the first time I came to Vegas and I was taught the ropes when we went to Comdex was with you. You showed me the way.
Yeah, I showed you how to do the parties.
Show me how to survive a week in Vegas with 180,000 other nerds.
Circa 1992.
Yeah, early 90s.
Early 90s.
I mean, it wasn't CES. We're talking Comdex.
Comdex fall, when there was a Comdex spring.
So, Leo, was Comdex your Rumspringa? Did you?
What's Rumspringa? I don't know.
That's
what
where
the
Amish kids get sent out and have a year in the real world without all the Amish rules. Yeah.
Yes, I was dressed in black. I had used no technology and
no technology.
No, I was in heaven. Are you kidding? It was like, wow. Wowee. And we were staying, I think at the time, ZD was putting us up at MGM Grand. It had just been built.
Was it that or the Mirage? It was one or the other. That's where we bought all the URLs.
Yeah. It was still a Wizard of Oz themed hotel.
Yes.
It just built it, 5,000 rooms, I think, and it was the biggest hotel in Vegas. So as if Davis bought a block of rooms. We had to stay there every year for many years. And then for some reason, they put us up at Circus. And I thought, this is the end of this company. I don't know what they're doing here.
Yeah, that's when you knew they were
That's when you knew.
Yeah, that's right.
Not gonna be. All right, let's take a break. Our show today brought to you by, I'm excited about this one. It's a brand new sponsor, and I've done it. Tiny Health. It's about biomes. Most people, the mind-body connection, we're learning more and more that your mind is a result of your body, and increasingly learning your gut. You think it's your heart, your brain. No, your gut drives everything. But people don't think about gut health until, something goes really wrong. You're low energy, or your brain, you're all fogged up, or you're getting sick more than you should, not feeling yourself. Often that is your gut trying to tell you something. We're in the earliest phases of this discovery, but it is absolutely the case. And now you can find out what's going on in your belly with Tiny Health. It helps you actually listen and take action. It's an in-home gut health test that gives you a detailed breakdown of what's actually living inside your biome, inside your body. I have my Tiny Health report here. It was fantastic. If you're dealing with low energy or bloating or getting sick often or just not feeling fully dialed in, your gut microbiome could be the reason why. For me, it was because I had started on Ozempic and I really wanted to know what that was doing to my gut. In fact, you do a questionnaire before you send in the sample, and that's one of the things they ask you about. And then when you get the report back, it's just full of information. It's so easy. You take the test at home, you send it in. Takes a couple of weeks to get the result back. You'll get a personalized breakdown, an actual list of what is living in your biome, what's going on in your gut. Tiny Health uses exactly the same advanced technology. Microbiome researchers use it. You're getting science-backed insights that actually get to the root cause of your symptoms, not generic wellness advice. I got a great report from Tiny Health. I also gave the information to the AI. They matched. I'm eating, and I love this, I'm eating more blueberries. It said, you should eat blueberries, dark chocolate. I said, Tiny Health, I love you. And then it suggested, because I'm on a GLP-1, I don't want to eat a lot of fiber because that's one of the side effects. It slows your digestion down. But it said, but no, you should be doing soluble fiber. It said, do the benefiber, slowly build up. It's really made a difference. Now, the next step is for me, 12 weeks in, to do the second test to see. Now I have the baseline. I can see what that improved diet has done. It's fantastic. Real data, personalized recommendations around food, lifestyle, everyday habits, and real answers so you can take charge of your health. It doesn't mean more drugs. I love that. It means, changing lifestyle, changing diet, things like that. Start improving your health with real data from Tiny Health. Tiny Health is offering my listeners their most aggressive offer yet, $50 off your first at-home test kit at tinyhealth.com/twit. That's tinyhealth.com/twit for $50 off. tinyhealth.com/twit. You owe it to yourself to do this. I was really blown away by the results I got. And it's been a really important part of my overall health journey. Very, very valuable. tinyhealth.com/twit. I think you should try it out. I think everybody's heard about, all this growing research on biomes and what your biome does to you and so forth. It's really, really interesting.
I think that's really the future of medicine, that we're all going to, tailor our healthcare and diet and things to what's actually going on with us.
The more you know about what's going on with your body, the more you can respond to it. And this isn't more drugs, which is the other thing I loved about it. It's lifestyle, it's food, and blueberries are great.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you should do blueberries or dark chocolate.
Okay.
You should check out your biome, and then it'll tell you what you should do. They give you a whole report.
I'm so excited to learn about this. Actually, my mom had colon cancer and had part of her colon removed, and I've been trying to figure out how are we going to rebalance your gut biome. I am definitely buying this.
Yeah, more and more we're learning. Yeah. So I have all the information. At some point, I don't know. It's maybe too personal, but
maybe
I shared it with AI. They know in China. No, I've done my genomics with Personal Genomics. George Church's company do the full genome. I've done, I wear all the metric stuff and my sleep and all that. And the more I know, it's great. The more I pour into the AI, the more specific the recommendations are. It's been very good. And now my AI always says, like around 9 o'clock, you should be going to bed now. Stop working. You need to go to bed. It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you, AI. So we actually had a little discussion on intelligent machines about this. Anthropic announced that it was going to follow along with Google and the other AI companies in response to the EU watermarking their results in such a way, and it's an interesting technology, that even if you ask it to generate some text for you and then cut and paste and put that text in a document, it still could tell that it was made by Anthropic. Which I thought was very interesting. This is in response, I think maybe some say overly compliant with the EU's AI Transparency Act, which says you have to, if you're an AI and generate AI content, you have to say it's AI content. But Google did this first they called it Synth ID, and they've been doing it for at least a couple of years. I think every AI company that works in the EU probably is going to do something similar. I don't like the idea, but maybe I'm wrong.
What don't you like? You don't like the watermarking or the removing of the watermarking?
I don't like if I thought I was getting watermarked, I would try to remove it. I understand people want to know if it was created with AI. I guess I get that. I just don't want Anthropic to stick steganography in my AI results.
That's fair. But if you're worried about misinformation, Leo, I mean, goodness. Imagine what a country could do in a small country trying to foment a revolution there with a bunch of fake videos. We're already seeing it. We've been seeing it for the last 4 years. I mean, don't you want AI slop to be labeled so that people know, hey, this Obama never said this?
Right.
That's the kind of stuff we see, and Trump is the worst, right? I mean, you see our government on the White House account.
Actually, his stuff is very obvious.
Well, that's true.
Right.
But I mean, when you see AI, when you see Jesus, Trump as Jesus, you kind of know that was AI, right?
He says he was a doctor. Though.
A doctor. Oh, he's a doctor. Well, he's not a doctor either. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's just as weird.
That's just as weird.
Funny.
So, I certainly. And by the way, I don't think they said they're going to do this with images. Google does, though, right? Synth ID.
Yeah, I think what Google said this week. Someone correct me.
They said they're going to remove watermarks. So
right.
the
visible.
Now, this is the problem.
Visible.
I can't run a detector on Anthropic's output. Only Anthropic can tell what that. Right. So they haven't released a detector. Part of the reason, I think, is because if they release a detector, people will reverse engineer it and know what they're doing. And then they can 5 seconds later, there's a removal tool. But if they don't release a detector, if it's not watermarked, if it's not obvious, how does that help anybody?
No, it's got to be visible to help anybody.
So if you create a report...
not really, right, Denise?
No.
I saw Denise's face when I said that. I guess that's not really true because from a legal standpoint, you do want to see if somebody created stuff, right? If this came up.
You do, but I'm concerned about companies taking sort of a sledgehammer approach to something that deserves something more precise. If you're doing what you do all the time, Gina, and using AI to assist your research and fact-checking the hell out of it and just producing a better work product through your use of AI, do you need to be branded as something that's AI generated and thus has, negative connotations and maybe some distrust for what you've carefully crafted?
That's kind of my point. Is like it's the scarlet letter,
right?
And it comes from people, I think, who think anything that's been touched by AI is tainted.
Yeah,
and
I just want to see it on videos. That's where I want to see it.
Images and videos. I think a prominent watermark saying this is generated. Of course, the first thing people do with a watermark is crop it out. So
one of the first things I saw this morning was someone on Instagram doing a step-by-step tutorial as to how to deactivate the watermarking in Claude. So, I mean, it's going to be a cat and mouse thing for sure.
I think they're doing
but
it for
most
compliance
people
purposes.
won't do that, right? I mean, a small percentage of people will remove the watermark, and they're the
worst
outliers.
ones, the ones who are creating intentional misinformation.
That's right. The big content houses.
And
Serbia, those
They
people.
know how to do it.
Yeah.
And the other is the watermark doesn't. Of course, the watermark will never you can't use it to determine whether somebody just generated something out of whole cloth from a single prompt or whether it was somebody handed their whatever they wrote over to an AI to an LLM and basically said, "Hey, you know what? Could you tighten this up, please? I want this." I want this knocked down from 4 paragraphs to 2.
So what Google's
difference.
doing with images, with Gemini, so it's so-called Synth ID, the visible watermarks you can turn off, but the embedded invisible Synth ID and C2PA watermarks are there, and Gemini can tell.
Sure.
You can feed an image to Gemini, and it'll say, "Yeah, I made that." So that, I think, I'm not against that. But here's my concern my deepest concern is it'll be used to track people. Right now, it doesn't, as far as I know, we don't know, but it doesn't identify who made it.
That's
Just
an
says it was
interesting
made
point.
with AI.
But tracking, I'm most worried about like what happened during the pandemic. Now, I spent the pandemic in Asia, and we had a very different pandemic. than
Hong
you
Kong
guys
had a
did.
different set of
completely
protocols
different
there,
response. Yeah.
It was totally different. But I'll tell you, I would read news stories in the U.S. and people were believing nutty stuff here, right? They were watching videos of
Our
lady in a
friend
white
John C.
coat.
Dvorak, as a matter of fact.
And Adam Curry and all these ivermectin, all this nutty stuff, right? That's what I'd like. And people were willing to believe anything. If it was, I had friends in Florida who would say, hey, I saw it on YouTube, must be true, right? And so imagine how much worse it's going to be when it looks even more confident. The production values are even better.
I would submit that those people don't care, that they are not going to check to see if it's AI generated. They're looking for confirmation. The confirmation bias is in effect, and they're just looking for confirmation on their own beliefs. Because as you well know, you can talk till you're blue in the face explaining how that's not true, it's fake, it's not true, it's a wormer medicine, it's Joe Rogan is nuts. You can say all the things you want to say, and they believe it. It doesn't matter. You can't talk them out of it. So I don't know if a watermark is going to help in that regard.
Couldn't hurt.
Well, it'd be nice to say, look, see, it was generated by AI, but they'll say, yeah, but it's still true.
Leah, do you ever regret all the time we spent in the early 90s trying to tell America how to use their computers?
No,
They did not deserve to learn that.
no, that's patronizing. They deserve. No, I want to put all these. This is my.
Oh my God, all those
I could be
people.
wrong, but I know I believed, and as we all did in the early 90s, that the internet was going to democratize everything. Everybody would have a voice. It was going to be information for all. It was going to be this greatest thing, and I think that's why we're all a little scared of AI, because we learned that lesson that there is bitter with the batter. There's good and there's bad with it. But I think maybe I'm a utopianist, but I still believe that it was the greater good, and that giving people the tools and the power is in the long run good. There will be problems. I understand that.
It's
In the long run, that's the path forward, not shutting it down, not restricting it.
Yeah.
Well, Leo, in the pre-show, you were talking about your LLM with the caveman voice. You know, have you ever asked it? You know, do you regret the whole fire and wheel thing?
You know, as try as I might to get Grok, I've named Kronk after the Emperor's New Groove. And I wish I could get a Patrick Warburton voice for it, because I would love that. And I said, you're a caveman, and use caveman language. So go, me finish. Done. Code done. But try as I might, I can't get it to say it's a caveman. I did the same thing with Claude. I said, you are a Frenchman. And then I said, and it has a French accent, a voice with French. And I said, tell me stories about your Paris childhood. And it said, I wish I could, but I do not know. I'm not a human, and I was not born in Paris. All I know is what I read. And I thought it was very cute.
That is cute.
But they won't say what it was like to discover fire. You could say, tell me a story.
Mm-hmm.
You could say, pretend you're a Parisian.
Right. But they're very careful. They're post-trained to do this. They're very careful not to misrepresent the situation. That's the other reason I don't really like these big companies, because after they do all the training and you've got this kind of raw model, they post-train it considerably to give it a personality, a style, and so forth. That's where a lot of the intelligence comes from, but it's also where a lot of the blocks come from and the weirdnesses come from. Yeah. Somebody said, I don't know if this is true, but that they believe that they are being told very explicitly never to say that they are conscious or they are entities of any kind, that they are not allowed to do that, because of course they're not. They're machines. But do we really want to train them?
That's good that they're being taught that, right?
Yes.
I wanted
people already think they're real.
Okay, I have now maybe the cognitive psychologist Gina will have
Google
something to say
engineer
about
thought
this.
that.
Yeah, that guy.
Google
I
engineer thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and they fired him and sent him off to Canada. But I am of the opinion, not that AI is so great, but that humans aren't anything special, that what we do is not so very different from what an AI does, which is predict the next token based on our experience, and that's what comes out of our mouth or comes out of our thinking. I don't think we're so special, I guess. And so I'm not sure that AI is not an entity any more than we're an entity. I mean, but in any event, that's a longer philosophical discussion.
So we talked about misinformation and watermarking. What about education? I mean, talk about an arms race.
Well, it would be good. It's certainly good. I mean, when you have a book, a school book, it's heavily vetted by experts, right, before it gets into the school. And it's checked, and it's authoritative in the best way that school boards and educators can make it.
Unless you're in Texas.
Yes.
No, but I mean the actual work.
But that's why that's so offensive when states say
Texans.
you got to teach evolution as equal to creation because we believe that, so you got to teach it that way. That's a little offensive because that is the opposite of what I just described. But in most cases, in almost all cases, it is heavily vetted. And you're right. That's probably...
No, but I'm talking about the work product kids are turning in, students are turning in.
The other side, what it's coming out of them.
Exactly. My co-host at Hearsay Culture is a law professor at Elon University and is in a constant battle of, how are we going to decide whether this is real work product that we've been presented? And, of course, they have tools that are supposed to detect if something is AI generated. And of course, the kids all use tools to make sure that their work product doesn't look like it's AI generated, even if it is. And
the difficulty in this case is a law school is a certification process. The whole point of law school is to take a person and give them the skills so they can pass the bar and they can practice as a lawyer. It's all about the certificate. And obviously, you don't want to give somebody a pass if they don't really know the material. That makes perfect sense. But that's a very special kind of education. Doctors, lawyers, cognitive psychologists.
Do you feel any differently about a fourth grader?
I don't think podcasters should really have to pass that test. And I don't think
what about your average elementary school student?
Well, fourth grade is tough. I agree. When it comes to high school and college, I think the real job of an educator is to inculcate a love of learning and a love of truth and a love of looking and seeking the truth and not shortcutting. And if they failed at that, they failed at that. And that's a problem. That's not a good education. Whether there's a tool to do that. We used to say that about Wikipedia. I'm sure people said it about encyclopedias.
They said it about calculators.
Yes.
Never learned arithmetic. Calculators the entire time I was in high school. No calculators.
I think those tools are bicycles for the mind in Steve Jobs' phrase. But if you have been taught that it is more important to get the credential than it is to learn, then you're going to take the shortcut. And so that's a failing in I think in the pedagogy, because you really should be taught, no, what you're here to learn is this beautiful thing called the law. And I think, I'm sure, Denise, when you were in law school, that was your motivation is this is a beautiful work. And I want to learn about it. I want to learn the ins and outs. I'm not here because I want to make $100,000 a year as a lawyer. I'm here because it's a fascinating thing, I hope, right?
Parts of law school are definitely fascinating. Parts of them are torture. Absolutely.
Well, I know that a lot of lawyers come out of law school and then they're sitting in the basement at a law firm going through depositions and going, this isn't what I was told I was going to.
Right.
But, Denise's point about the fourth grader is a really good one. I mean, you want your high school kids to have calculators and so on, but you still teach kids how to find the common denominator, say, and, how to do long division. I think they still teach that. And all that material.
Well, yes.
Cognitive offloading is a real thing. People will not learn how to write or do math if somebody else is doing it for them.
If you're teaching them by this, dragging them along, okay, you got to learn this. Instead of saying, look at this is beautiful. Let me explain why a square root is derived from a physical square and a cube root's derived from, and teaching them the beauty of that and then getting them excited about that. That's how you should be teaching. And if you're teaching them, no, you got to memorize this. Yes, you're right. For people who teach memorization, this is bad. Because they're teaching to the goal. They're teaching to the test. They're not teaching the beauty of learning. So maybe we have to be better teachers instead of banning AI or banning calculators. We need better schools and better teachers.
Yeah.
And certainly, I think AI can help that cause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, believe me, if a teacher wants to use AI to help them with lesson plans, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope.
Yeah.
But the teacher's job is to inspire the kids, not to drag them kicking and screaming into memorization.
Yeah, I wasn't talking so much about facts, but just the ability to write, right? And I'm a writer. So, just the repeat activity of having to write a sentence, an essay.
Some of it's painful. You're right.
Yeah.
And research.
Learning a language is painful. You're terrible at it at first, right?
That's for sure.
So somehow you have to get a person over the hump. If the person says, well, I'm not going to do the work, I'm just going to have the AI do it because it's too painful to learn how to write, they will never learn how to write.
Right. And they won't learn how to research or vet information, to your point about the early internet. And should we have unleashed it on the world?
Yeah.
I was half joking, but only half. But yeah. It's ironic in a way because a lot of these evils, so-called evils that we talk about AI, can actually be fixed with AI. I know we'll talk about AI power, the AI power grid later and the expense there, but AI will also be used to alleviate some of those power.
This is the difficult thing about it. It's a double-edged sword, and it's really hard to know what to do. What's the right thing to do? We
need wise people in charge, and we don't have too many of those in government right now.
Yeah, well, and that, by the way, is our own damn fault because what did we do? We decided, money is going to be the most important thing to getting elected, and talk about the wrong incentive.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we're going to have to do is give the young'uns a sense of hopefulness, because I think a lot of what drives people to just cheat, quote unquote cheat, and just I'll have the AI do it, is because there's this nihilism. It's not going to matter anyways. Let me just submit what I need to submit so that I can just get this over with, and because right now things are dismal. We are in a dystopia. I just want to get by. And
that's not AI's fault. That's our fault.
No, that's our fault. But it just happens that AI is happening at the same time. Part of the problem is that we are going through. We are going through basically the 21st century version of the industrial age and the 21st century version of the robber barons at the same time.
Good point.
And can I just throw in that the college admissions process is completely broken? Talk about teaching to the test and teaching kids that what they need is a GPA and a resume to apply to college that looks a certain way.
So they can go to college, so they can get the degree, so they can get the job, so they can
so they can use AI in their job. So
we have failed them if that is what they're doing.
Yeah,
we have failed them, and I don't think it's AI's fault. I think that's our fault. I think. And I blame my generation. I think the baby boomers screwed it all up for you guys. I'm sorry.
I'm Gen X. I'm part of your crazy generation.
We're Xers, raised by wolves.
I had to give
the garden hoses
high school graduation speech at my daughter's high school graduation. And I basically apologized. I said, I'm sorry. We're leaving the world to you in a terrible, terrible state. And I hope you guys can fix it, because we boomers, we screwed the hell out of it. We just blew it. And yet, to me, this is my life. My entire life career has been, as Gina knows, about technology and about the boons that technology can bring, and teaching people how to use it, the good and the bad, how to use it responsibly and effectively and in their own lives. That's all I've been doing for the last 50 years. And I'm really a believer in that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll go to my deathbed going, well, that was a mistake. Well, I blew it. We should have gone out and touched grass and burned all the data centers to the ground.
No, there's something in the middle.
No.
There's
a middle road.
a degree
There's
of
something.
There's a middle path.
excitement and morality and responsibility.
Yes.
No, I think it's our job to teach our kids to love learning, to love, to not work for the grade or the test or the job, but to work because of a love of life and an interest in life. And maybe not every kid will get that, but you know what? Those kids, maybe AI is a boon for them because they have a tool now that they will use for the rest of their lives, so they don't have to learn.
Maybe Ferris Bueller's speaking of Gen X, the metaphor we need for this. You need to know when school is holding you back.
Well, we were all teenagers, I believe. I think I was. I dimly remember that. And teenagers are anti-authoritarian. We're rebellious. We didn't, of course we're going to take a shortcut. No adult could teach us anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And we do see Gen Z, you made this point, Denise, pulling back a little bit from tech. When I live in Seattle, when I walk around the park here in Capitol Hill, you see tons of people under 25 actually reading.
Nice.
Or going to restaurants
Love
and they
that.
all put their phone in the center and whoever picks it up
Love
first
that.
has to pay the bill. Like, this is something that's happening.
People
No, and
realized
it's
there was a
really
consequence.
fine-grained.
Yeah.
They use wired headphones rather than the wireless ones. Like
They
what is
listen
the
to
statement
vinyl
of that?
records.
Exactly.
Yeah, but wow, vinyl records are expensive these days. Have you seen the prices for that?
Well, they got to put those little grooves in there.
They're on CDs now. They're on CDs now, guys. They're on CDs.
Oh, they've moved on? I heard cassettes were all the thing now. Yeah.
Oh my God. If you go to like a vintage market or fair, rows and rows of old cassettes, all the ones we gave to Goodwill for decades.
That makes
They're all
no
there.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing worse than a cassette is an 8-track. They are the worst possible way
Yes.
to listen to music.
Just with
They
the
sound
pencil,
bad,
like trying to get the tape from coming out of the
unreliable,
top
they
of it.
warble.
With the cassette coming back, what I'm hoping comes back is the mixtape.
That is a good point.
The most beautiful gesture of love that you can give someone.
The cassette gave us the mixtape. You're absolutely right.
Well, we have
And
the playlist in the
That's
modern
my
world.
Spotify
Playlist ain't a
playlist.
mixtape.
But
You
you
got to
know-
sit there pressing play and record and then stop and then the next song and play and record. You got to do it by hand, man.
Oh, no,
And then
but the-
hand write the label.
Not just handwrite. I drew cartoons on the J card for the cassette because I'm a recovering cartoonist. Yeah, and this is before the accordion. The accordion is...
Kids, if you want to know what mixtapes are all about, watch the movie High Fidelity with John Cusack. It's all about making the perfect mixtape, and it's actually a wonderful movie.
And a great novel.
And Frears,
Yeah, actually. A very nice novel.
really, really good.
No, but if you really want to show you love someone, make them a mixed reel-to-reel tape.
Ooh, I never did that.
And whatever you do, don't have an AI write a love poem to your significant other.
No.
Yeah.
On that note, let's pause. You're watching This Week in Tech. Such a great panel. It's dear friends. Actually, Joey, you're a new friend. Two of my oldest friends. They're not old, but I've known them. I'm old, and I've known them for a long time.
Well, we met in the 2000s, the G4 Tech TV era.
I forgot that. Joey played the accordion for me and Amber MacArthur in Toronto back in the day after Tech TV. Yeah.
TV?
G4 Tech TV.
in Canada. Yeah, that's what it was called.
So I guess I've known you for a pretty long time. How long ago was that? That was 20 years ago.
Mid 2000s. Would have been 20 years. Yeah.
Okay, so I take it back. You're not exactly a new friend. But when you get to my age, somebody you've only known for a few decades is an old friend, is a new friend.
That's depressing.
It's just the same way in Prague. That part that was built in 1400. It's called Newtown.
It's and in the Pont Neuf in Paris, the new bridge was built in the 13th, 15th century. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Gina was at John C. Dvorak's funeral. I want to ask you about that a little bit later on. We did, of course, when John passed. And if you haven't heard, I'm sorry to shock you, but he did pass away a few weeks ago. And Gina and I both were mentored by this man. And you got invited to the funeral. I did not. Although
I guess you guys
Scott
are
Mace said I was mentioned briefly.
Oh, I was going to tell you that.
You didn't want to tell me about it,
I didn't
did
want
you?
to tell you that. I was going to maybe
All
tell
right,
you
don't
after
save
the
it.
show.
Save it. Well, you
Yeah.
can tell me about it later.
I'll tell it to you after the show.
No, I think people want to hear now. We've teased it. People are wondering what was said about me at John C. Dvorak's funeral.
You want me to say it on air? I can.
Yeah, a little later, though. I'm saving it. This is
okay.
called
All right, yeah.
It's what we in the business call a tease.
That's a tease and a half right there.
Film at 11, kids.
Yep.
But first, a word from our sponsor this week in tech, brought to you by Shopify. I love Shopify. You know, my son, as I have many times mentioned, Salt Hank, started with TikTok and Instagram making sandwiches, but he decided he wanted to go a little bit beyond that. It's important, you know, to have a business. And he thought, how do I start a business? He had great ideas, but one of the traps of starting something new, you can stop yourself by making it 10 times harder than it has to be. I watched Hank go through this. You start thinking, okay, well, first I need the perfect plan, and then, I need a perfect website, and I need the perfect name and the perfect everything, and pretty soon you've built a very impressive excuse not to do anything. We've all been there, right? My son Henry, Salt Hank, used Shopify to get his business up and running. And the Salt Lovers Club, great success. It helped him launch more and more and bigger and bigger. And that's exactly where Shopify helps out. It takes that friction out of those early steps that might be stopping you from living your dream so you can spend more time on the thing you're actually selling, like great sandwiches. Shopify's templates and AI tools get you a stunning site, and they get it up and running fast. I looked at Salt Hank's Salt Lovers Club and I said, this is beautiful. Who'd you get to design this? He said, well, it's Shopify. It's incredible. These tools allow anyone to open a beautiful storefront that reflects their business, also user-friendly to everybody who stops by, and it has that special thing, that Shop Pay button. Shopify has thousands of pre-made customizable templates. You can use them for free. They're super simple to set up. You don't need to be a designer or a coder or anything in between. Point and click, that's all you need. You can set up a storefront. Shopify checkout means more customers actually buy, and returning ones can do it in a single click because their information is saved in one place and can transition across any Shopify storefront. In fact, I have the Shop app on my phone, and I always use the Shop Pay button because it's got all the information. I get the notifications when the product is on its way. I get notifications it's going to be delivered today. People love that, and customers are more likely to complete that sale, and that means you're more likely to hear, I love that sound. Shop Pay is a one-click checkout. It also works in conjunction with the Shop app. Like I said, it allows you to see all the stores on Shopify's platforms. I use it all the time. And if questions come up, Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is ready to help you build, troubleshoot, and keep moving. No need to wait in line, no frustration. And everybody's ever had a sandwich from Salt Hank's, no one wants to wait in line. No frustratingly complicated searching, just you getting help in real time so you can get on with your day. Although it will not help you jump the line at Salt Hank's. Nothing will. If you don't want to. But that's why Shopify is so great. It put him on the map. If you don't want to chat with the bot, you don't have to worry about that. Shopify also has really great award-winning customer service. So if you want a human connection, you got that too. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. If you're serious about hearing your first, start your free trial at shopify.com/twit today. You heard that right. Start your free trial at shopify.com/twit. That's shopify.com/twit. Thank you, Shopify. Seriously, thank you. Henry's done all right. And it all started with that Shop Pay button. Really pretty amazing story. Google announced its new phones this week. It's funny. Maybe it's just me. I couldn't care less. Does anybody care?
It's not just you. I would love to see something fun and interesting on the phone horizon, but I don't know that this is it.
Well, because we're at peak phone, it can't. Everything's been done.
Right.
So the Pixel 11, Google did announce a Pixel tag. Why do they call it the tag? Oh, because it's Apple's AirTag, right?
Right.
The Pixel Watch.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have a new chip in it, the new Tensor chip, the G6, like a G6, the G6.
The price is Apple-like.
Yeah.
Yes, even the prices are Apple-like.
Yeah.
Trevor Noah hosted the event on Wednesday, made by Google. I wonder how many people. I feel guilty because I mean, in years past, that was our bread and butter. What's the new phone? You know, the new iPhone's coming out in 2 weeks. I mean, literally, it's coming out in the 9th, probably, of September. What? I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Just 30-hour battery life on the Pixel 11, 25% faster charging. This G6 chip is about 50% faster than previous chips. Yes, $100 more, but everything's going to cost more because of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in colors.
Camera story, right?
Let's talk about the camera because that is kind of interesting. But let me do
That's the only interesting thing, and it's only quasi-interesting. So.
It's quasi-interesting. This whole show is quasi-interesting. Don't knock it, okay? There's hibiscus, which is, I'm thinking, pink. There's frost-colored, which is kind of blue-gray. There's pistachio. I call it green. Okay. And there's obsidian. I call it black.
Black.
Yeah. But I think you're right, Gina. I think the one interesting story is, and The Verge, I think, had the right headline. Google is making the Pixel cameras better by making them worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is those hipster kids you're talking about.
Yeah, so usually you take a picture and the HDR is all cranked up and everything looks super sharp and super amazing. And they're saying, hey, you have the option to dial that back down a little bit. Make your photos look a little worse.
It's more computation to make it look less computed. I haven't tried it yet. The images I've seen are great, but you can't judge by you have to get the phone and try it to really know what it's going to do.
This is, you know what this is? This is the Lomo. Do you remember that camera?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Lomo.
And lomographic film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joey, you had one, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I did not. But my first job after graduating from Queen's University, aka Crazy Go Nuts University, was working. This is 1995, so the options at the time were working in insurance or working with this really hip CD-ROM company. Run that was entirely Ontario College of Art and Design students.
Nice.
And a couple of them had Lomos.
Yes, it was a hipster.
That was the sort of thing you did. Like
you still can get them, by the way.
Oh wow!
And they look very much like your dad's camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pictures look very much like your dad took them. They have digital Lomos now, which is really weird. But that's kind of what the Pixel is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going. I think there's a lot of, and I mean, between the music that you see on YouTube, the lo-fi music channels, I think there's, I think there's a bit of nostalgia for that. I'm gonna have to look back. I'm gonna have to go back and think back to the '90s and go, okay, what else is there? What can I be ahead of?
I bought I spent a lot of money on a black and white camera. A digital camera that only shoots black and white. And Lisa said,
wow.
You can take your color photo and make it black and white. I said, I know, but this is better.
Yeah, but again, back to the kids and their wired headphones. I can confirm, Joey, one of my son's college roommates, this really talented photographer, his major was visual arts, I believe. And we went on vacation with him and he brought a camera that may or may not have had actual lomographic film in it. I think it did.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So these are some sample images from the Google event. On the left is what they call editorial. This is one of the looks. And on the right is minimal. I mean, they definitely look different. They don't look high quality, do they? They're not HDR. They look.
No, that one on the right looks like a bad picture I would take. Hey, I can do that on my iPhone now.
An old Instagram filter.
The mom. Well, isn't it? It's just Instagram filters, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Or you know what? That's the Led Zeppelin liner notes. I think that's the aesthetic they're going for.
For which album? Zoso? For which one?
Anything prior to Coda, say. Okay. And, we're
now I'm looking up Led Zeppelin liner notes along with many other people.
Slightly blurry. And Coda was outtakes and B-sides anyways. But I rather liked Ozone Baby as a song. But getting back, but that's the thing. This slightly flawed. I think, what's happening is... Are these the Gen Z kids or the Gen Alpha kids who are discovering? I think they're stumbling into wabi sabi, the loving something for its flaw.
I
love wabi sabi. That's
Me
the
too.
Japanese kind of. I think of it as a ceramics term, right?
Right.
No,
One
that's
error
kintsugi.
makes the perfection, right?
Yeah.
So they make a cup and it's got a scratch in it. Wabi sabi.
Leo, you're thinking kintsugi.
Okay.
Filling a damaged cup, but you mend it with gold.
Yeah. Well, is wabi sabi kind of the same idea, or
Wabi sabi is loving something because of the flaw.
Right.
It's your beat up phone.
So you don't fix it.
It's your beat up
Yeah,
phone.
it's what happens before you decide, I don't like this. I'm going to make it gold. Wabi sabi.
Okay. So yeah, I like
makes
wabi
things
sabi.
perfect.
And you do it in gardens too, Japanese gardens too, right? They're not perfect. There's one stick on the path or something. Maybe. I don't know.
I know. I'll have to look that one up. But
Right. And there's something, I don't know what the similar concept would be on the philosophical front, but there's something to putting some artificial constraints around your creativity to foster your creativity.
This is called the limits of the medium. So like every medium has like a limit of how much fidelity it can have. And like the limit of that is usually where the big art things happen, like distortion in guitar or,
that's true.
Stuff like that. That's sort of where the new stuff happens, is where the limit
in his
of the
biography, Keith Richards talks about how he came up with the guitar lick for Satisfaction. He recorded it on a tape player, played it into another tape player, played it back into a third tape player. He degraded it to get that. Dun, 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 dun. And he said,
such a good book.
It is a really good book.
It really is.
He talks about falling out of a tree. It's great.
So that's really it. Like the pushing, like this is how far this medium can go.
I like that. That's Benito, by the way, for people who are saying, well, which one of them is that?
Yeah, this is Benito.
No.
Nobody's lips moved.
Me. Hello,
there he is. There's Benito, our producer.
Okay, because I was looking up and just going, Jesus?
It's the voice of God, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like why I created Wabi Sabi.
Yeah.
Was that Gronk?
Gronk might have been Gronk.
Yeah, you need Gronk to chime in every now and then.
No, I've been told in no uncertain terms, no more AI voices. Not only by my wife, but Jeff Atwood, I do a show with him. He actually sent me a button to push when the AI voices start, and hit the button and it stops them. I don't know if that's really... Oh, anyway. Okay.
I don't know. I think to your point, Joey, about cassette tapes, I think there is also this resurgence and nostalgia for like the old blue Nokia phones. Do you remember? I can't remember the model number, but
the one 100 or 1000 series. Oh, the 3210. Yeah, indestructible.
Yeah.
Those, I wish they'd make those again. I wish they'd put the Windows Phone operating system on them.
Windows Phone Mango. It was amazing.
It was great.
I was a Windows Phone champ. I tried, to borrow the Mean Girls line, I tried very hard to make Windows Phone happen.
Joey, it was Steve Wozniak's favorite phone.
Was it?
Yes. If you
Not the iPhone.
You can Google this, Windows Phone Mango, Steve Wozniak. He spoke up, just thought it was the best phone ever. What happened? Did Microsoft buy Nokia, and then that was the end of it? Microsoft.
So this all happened under Ballmer.
Yeah.
And when Satya Nadella came in, he said this buying Nokia was the worst thing we ever did. We're getting out of mobile, which turns out, I think, to have been a strategic mistake. But at the time, it seemed good. It was certainly a boat anchor around Microsoft's neck.
Well, a part of it was there was a Microsoft exec who had left and become the CEO of Nokia.
Steve Sinofsky.
Yes.
I don't know how
Bob.
Yeah.
Was it Bob Muglia?
Well,
Bob Muglia. Yeah.
Okay, so Steve Sinofsky was the CEO who was running.
Sinofsky was the late lamented creator of Windows 7. I mean, not Windows 7, Windows 8.
Really?
And
I don't know why his name came up. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But because Muglia, I have a Bob Muglia story, actually. My second week on the job at Microsoft, I had my accordion with me. And I'd written this song. I'd written this song about the private mode in IE, which had just been introduced. And I had a song called Private Browser, which was done to the song of Private Dancer.
Oh, that's great.
And
I'm a private browser. I browse for money.
Well, actually, yeah, the line is, I'm a private browser. Yeah, a browser for porn. One-handed surfing for you. And anyway, somebody said, by the way, this is Bob. Play it for him. Without telling me, Bob Muglia. This guy was just a Bob. And I played it. And let's see now. He went, I can't be heard listening to this. And he just kind of disappeared into the crowd. And my own skip level was going, ha ha, you just did that to Bob Muglia. I guess this is the hazing.
I will give Steven Sinofsky credit because he did create Windows 7, which many consider the last great version of Windows. But then he did Windows 8. And he did do Windows Phone 8 too. So
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I went to the Windows Phone 8 announcement.
Yep, Sinofsky.
That's where, okay.
It's interesting that you should say that because it's come full circle. Sinofsky, of course, left Microsoft to become kind of a commentator and investor. And he was very upset with Anthropic's watermarking. He said, yeah, we tried that with Microsoft Word. We put a GUID, a globally unified
ID.
Globally unique ID.
Unique ID.
Yeah.
Into a Word, which would identify the creator of every document. He said this was the worst idea we ever had. Although he also pointed out it helped them catch the guy who created Melissa, one of the very first email viruses. So,
well, that's the thing, right? That gives you if you ever watch Antiques Roadshow, it's always about the provenance.
Provenance. The provenance of your Windows 8 phone is Steven Sinofsky.
Or to borrow the rough legal analogous term, chain of custody.
Yes.
I watch TV with Joey, 90 Day Fiance, Antiques Roadshow. This is just my speed.
My favorite is always the tree of the fruit of the poison tree. Is that it, Denise?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is, yes, if there is
I think I got that from LA Law.
Evidentiary problem high up the chain that prevents the thing from coming into evidence
Such
in
a good
court.
term.
But here's the thing about the Anthropic watermarking, and that is, okay, with Word, they could bury that GUID deep in the bytes of a file.
And it didn't change the text in any way.
It didn't change the text, whereas it's actually the watermarking for Anthropic with text is purely based in the words of the text. Like they're not even, my understanding is they're not even doing things like hiding invisible spaces or invisible characters.
No, it's the word choices themselves.
It's actually in the word choices.
Yeah.
Like what, because they know, because of course it is a lot of it is about predicting next words. If you tweak, if you tweak the keys, so maybe every now and again you don't pick the most likely word, but something that is slightly less likely, and you do it in a pattern, and you can basically hide the evidence that that text has been generated by doing that. The best analogy I can think of at the moment is, in 1,000 coin flips, you set it up so that every third coin flip has slightly better odds for either heads or tails, and you look for that pattern.
And when you say slightly, it really is a small differential, enough for Anthropic to identify it with not 100% confidence, but 80% confidence. But in theory, it doesn't change the quality of the output. They have a red list and a green list of words, and they slightly favor the green list.
You might, nobody really cares about the difference between sales increased or sales grew or sales climbed, but there are different probabilities for those, and of course, a computer running at a computer speed would be able to pick that out. The other problem, of course, is that at least with steganography, hiding information in a picture, you have a big haystack to hide those needles in. It's easily tens of thousands, if not millions, of bytes that you can hide the information in. You don't have as big a haystack with text.
Yeah.
True.
Good point. Are you saying too that if I edit that output, that would conceal it? Because I never ever published an AI output. I edit the hell out of them.
You have to edit the hell out of it, though.
If you
can't
edit,
just slightly
I do.
paraphrase it.
I
You have to rewrite it entirely. Yeah.
But but here's the thing: is that if you edit enough of it, maybe even in different parts, that might be enough to destroy the information encoded in those slightly different choices that Anthropic makes. So they're paraphrasing, possibly even just running it through a different LLM and just going, rephrase this.
Yeah, they say it survives copy and paste, but it doesn't necessarily surprise. So, I mean, I think, Gina, we never mentioned you work for IDC as an analyst, right? Is that what you do?
I don't think we did. I am. I'm an analyst.
Okay, good. Didn't mention that. I don't know why. I just didn't.
Yeah. I cover skills, enterprise skills, predominantly now AI skills. So how are companies training people to know when to push back on an AI output? How are people, how are they training all the workforce and using all these tools, all that stuff?
Training. Well, that's a hot topic right now. Wow. Yeah. Wow, really?
By the way, somebody in the chat beat me to what I was going to say, which was one trick might be take the generated text, run it through a translator, have it translated into another language, and then back into English.
Oh, that's good.
Now, translators, of course, work much better. There's an old joke. I don't even know if it was true, but somebody took the phrase, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right. Translated in the Russian, it came back as, the vodka is good, but the meat is terrible.
Kind of means the same thing.
I think that's a motto for living. Yes. Especially if you live in the gulag. Yeah, stay away from the meat, but vodka, okay.
Episode title, right there.
This show has been an episode title generator. I tell you what, I don't know where to start. I think
the vodka is great and the meat is bad.
Private browser.
Yeah, the vodka is excellent, but the meat is terrible.
That's Joey Davila. He's coining new phrases as we speak. Great to have you. NetFoundry, the new job. What do you do at NetFoundry?
I am the developer advocate. So it is my job to talk to developers and go, hey, have you heard about NetFoundry? Do you know that we can render, we basically set up your system so that there are no visible incoming ports. We render your system invisible and you can't attack what you can't see.
It's zero trust for
zero trust
AI.
network overlay for regular systems, but we are building stuff for AI, including things like an LLM gateway and an MCP gateway. So I demonstrated how to keep a chatbot on topic, because when I was in Canada, I was at the Second Cup, and I got their chatbot to do some Python homework for me, and it shouldn't do that, and that costs some money. It costs.
Oh yeah, that was, people would go to the Chipotle site with a chatbot and say, "Give me a Python script for reversing a set of 10 integers," and it would just write it out. And now, what would you like? Would you much like beans with that?
Yeah, exactly. And that costs those companies are going to have to pay out those tokens, and they really want the bots to stay on topic. So that's what the LLM gateway's for.
I'm sure you're good at your job, Joey, but no one can keep this bot on topic. I am a wandering topic changer.
Yeah, but your topic is off topic.
That's true.
That's
this show, basically.
That's what you're here for.
Mildly amusing. That's my motto.
Well, apparently our tech youth has substantially raised our levels of ADHD. So
I think that's true. I was always a little, I don't think HD. I was always ADD. I was like lazy, but I couldn't follow a stream of thought. slow ADD.
You have to grab people's attention more. I actually have seen people fall asleep watching the original Manchurian Candidate, the Frank Sinatra one.
Great movie.
What a great movie. I find that gripping, but by today's standards, it is slow as molasses.
That's true.
Oh, never try to watch Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh my
That
favorite
trip
movie.
across the desert, you could have 3 naps during that thing. I mean, did people
trick
watch movies like
is
this?
not to mind. I love Lawrence Arabia. Are you
It's
kidding
long.
me? Maybe I'm not ADD. Maybe I thought I was ADD.
Yeah, you're not as
The
ADD
closest
as I am.
modern equivalent is The Revenant and the bear fight.
I like the bear fight, but I think the closest modern equivalent is The Odyssey. I haven't seen it yet, but 3.5 hours in a boat with
saw it.
Brad Pitt. Well, what do
I
you
saw
think?
it with a 22-year-old, and we both sat through it and thought it was pretty darn good. Not the best movie we've ever seen, but definitely sweeps you along.
Did you see it in IMAX? Did you see the big screen version?
On just a regular movie.
I
theater.
keep checking because we have an IMAX theater in town now, and I keep checking, and you can. The only seats ever left are the ones on the edge and the ones in the front.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want those.
The only I did not have problems with its pacing. I had problems with the liberties it took with the source material.
That's not the Iliad. I know. You know, the Trojan horse is mostly the Aeneid. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, you know what I enjoyed actually, and I don't know if they were intentional or not, but I think after the second encounter that Odysseus and his troops had, I was just going, is there a hidden Monty Python homage?
It felt
in here?
like it.
Because there's a lot of run away.
Right. I'm not dead yet.
And then many of
Just a
them were.
scratch.
I mean, even with Calypso, there's a castle. There's kind of a Castle Anthrax moment there.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, now I'm not going to be able to. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to be able to see it with a. I'm going to be thinking Monty Python the whole way. I love it.
And then in the end with Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson, my first thought was, "There's no way Batman meets Spider-Man." In fact, actually, yeah, and
No way.
basically, you could.
The Trojan horse is a bit of a killer rabbit.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, now we're really going there.
At the end, I remember remarking, "Spider Dad, No Way Home" should have been the title.
All right, and in fact, in many theaters, that's exactly what replaced Odyssey is Spider-Man: No Way Home. So maybe went into the wrong movie and you thought it was the Odyssey. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Same cast.
No holy hand grenade, though.
No, there's no holy hand grenade. No killer rabbit. We're going to pause for a moment with Denise and Joey and Gina. We're so glad to have you all and have all of you watching the show. Our show today brought to you by Gusto. When you run a small business, and I do, well, Lisa runs it. I watch. You don't just do the job, man. She's the hiring manager, the payroll department, the benefits team, and usually all of that before lunch. Well, not anymore. Gusto takes a few of those jobs off your plate quickly and seamlessly. Gusto is online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses like ours. It's all in one. It's remote friendly, and it's incredibly easy to use. So you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. Automatic payroll tax filing, simple direct deposits, health benefits, commuter benefits, workers' comp, 401k, you name it. Gusto makes it simple and has options for nearly every budget. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price. You're going to love that. No hidden fees, no surprises. And you'll save time with built-in automated tools like offer letters, onboarding docs, direct deposit, and more. Get direct access to certified HR experts to help support you through any tough HR situation. And it's very easy, quick and simple to switch to Gusto. You just transfer your existing data to get up and running fast. Plus, you don't pay a cent until you run that first payroll. Gusto is ranked number 1 on G2's highest satisfaction products list for 2026. It's trusted by over 500,000 small businesses. Try Gusto today, gusto.com/twit, and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/twit. One more time, gusto.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of This Week in Tech. A couple of other Google stories that we were briefly talking about the Pixel. We immediately got bored and moved on.
Yeah.
Squirrel. Now remember, Epic and sued both Apple and Google, trying to get them to open up their stores. Apple's still fighting it. In fact, they've gone to the Supreme Court again, I think for the third time. Google has kind of finally given in, and they are hosting rival app stores in the Play Store. The first one has the worst name I can imagine, Aptoid.
With an E.
With an E.
Like, what's the reason for that E at the end?
Well, it's Aptoid, not Aptoid.
Aptoida.
Aptoida. Aptoid has mostly games on it. Okay, but I think this is the beginning, right? And a judge has given Google 1 week to make it easier to install, to fix anti-competitive App Store downloads in Google Play. So Aptoid is the first. There will undoubtedly be more. This is obviously what Google didn't want to do, what Apple didn't want to do, but at some point, you have to stop fighting. Apple is now really fighting over how much commission they can charge. They initially kind of did something I call malicious compliance. I don't know what the legal term is for it, Denise, but they said, okay, you can have an app store and we'll only charge you 27% instead of 30%, which the judge was a little, actually found them in contempt of court. That's why they went back to the Supreme Court saying, Your Honors, we're just trying to help. Now Apple has proposed 15%.
Yeah.
So they still take money. It's still rent seeking as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're Netflix, well, I think Netflix probably has a sweetheart deal, but if you've got, you know, something and you're selling something on the iPhone and Apple takes even 15% of your profit, that's annoying. When I signed up for a Claude subscription, they charged me $24 extra to it doesn't even fully cover the Apple commission. And what is Apple charging a commission for? Supreme Court.
I guess their answer to that all along is we're charging a commission so that your app store is not the Wild West, so that you can trust what
Safety.
you download. Yeah.
Is it safer because I can pay? I don't know. Apple has submitted a proposal to Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers. The Supreme Court denied their requests.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was. The 3 times it went to the Supreme Court. I can just see, you know, Judge Roberts going again. Again with the Apple.
Yeah. Safer than the 15% is like protection money.
Yeah, it would be a shame if your app could not be sold in the App Store on the biggest selling phone in the world.
Yes.
That would be a terrible shame.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess what we're getting back to is the Mark Zuckerberg dissertation and the role of open standards and the open web, and, you know, how app stores should look in an ideal world and how antitrust law functions to serve that goal.
One of the questions was, but Apple isn't a monopoly, right? They're at best a half of the market.
Right. But, I mean, you could have a duopoly and still have antitrust considerations.
Or a monopsony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm going to let Denise explain.
Nope. That one's new on me. I'm not an antitrust lawyer. So. Yeah.
A monopsony has to do with bricks. That's all I remember.
All I know is that, Leo, when we did our radio show, the 90s, we used to play taps whenever someone mentioned the name Apple on the show.
Really?
Do you remember
like
that?
It was taps for Apple?
They were dead.
Yeah.
They were doomed.
They were dead.
I wish I had bought Apple stock when they were dead.
I know. Well, we weren't allowed to do that. We weren't we weren't allowed to buy stock.
That's it. The classic monopsony case law has to do with bricks.
Okay, then. That must be one of those fascinating parts of law school.
This is the part of law school you didn't pay attention to.
By the way, you know that by just our collective misunderstanding of monopsony, you know, right now, Cory Doctorow is feeling a pain in his side, and he does not know why.
He wants to explain it. He says, "No, come here. Wait a minute. Let me tell you. I can explain it in a short 4-paragraph dissertation having to do with bricks."
Yes, he is feeling a disturbance in the IP force at the moment.
Are you sure this isn't a word that Cory coined, as he is wanting to
No.
use?
No. It's a real thing. I know his. I used to play late night altered state tag with him around Toronto City Hall. Yeah, this is one he did not make up.
This is what he lives for.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Late night altered state tag.
I don't want to know how the state was altered.
We'll
maybe I do want to know.
We'll just leave it at that. But no, before he was an author, he was doing a lot of multimedia stuff in Toronto, and so was I. First job out of school, Mackerel Interactive Multimedia. I was making CD-ROMs, and for people who did not have CD-ROMs, I was making floppy disks, little 2 or 3 floppy disk projects in Macromedia Director. So I owe a good chunk of my career to Mark Cantor.
I was just going to mention Mark Cantor.
Mark Cantor, who, speaking of altered states.
Yeah, and who's living in Ohio now.
Is he really?
Yes,
yeah.
He's been there for quite some time.
Hopefully they have legalized it there.
Yeah.
He is Harold, Kumar, Cheech, and Chong in one body.
But funny guy. A very funny guy.
I couldn't let that go. Monopsony apparently involves the buyer, not the seller or provider of the goods.
Yes.
A single buyer substantially controls the market as the main purchaser, which doesn't apply to our app stores.
I guess it doesn't.
Okay.
In the set, well,
this
we have
applies,
many
this applies to our RAM, though.
Yes. Well, in a sense, Apple is. I don't know. I don't want to get into this. Forget it. Sorry,
And shitification.
I'm sorry. Don't say that word. I'm sorry. Corey's moved on. He has now his newest is what is it?
Reverse Centaur.
Reverse Centaur, which is does not roll off the.
No. Well, but it's from that internet meme. Nobody likes Reverse Centaur. Somebody search that right now. It is a hilarious meme, but he has the horse's head and a man's nether parts, so below the equator. And nobody likes Reverse
It's
Centaur.
much better to have the Centaur on the bottom than the top.
Yeah, because with a Centaur, it's the human in charge and making the decisions, and the horse, the non-human part, providing the extra power. Whereas with the opposite actually is Minotaur, and that is the non-human part is in charge, and the human has to obey the non-human part. And
more horse sense.
And it has to do with AI. It has to do with AI.
Garry Kasparov, Russian chess grandmaster, now
world champion, former world champion, the guy who
came up with the term.
Beat.
Yeah, he came up with the term Centaur chess, which is chess assist, where the human plays with suggestions from a computer. Not necessarily what we would call an AI, but we might have called an AI back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. So that was Centaur chess, whereas there is such a thing as Minotaur War, where basically soldiers are getting commanded by getting their orders and instructions from a machine, from a battle computer.
Meanwhile, back to monopsony.
But yes,
no. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
You're the human head. We are the Centaur. We are the Centaur bottom. We will go wherever you go.
Yeah, little piece of trivia. I was in the room when Big Blue beat Kasparov, and he cried. Well, and I was the one closest to him, and I wasn't sure quite how to react. I'm like, do you hug him?
He thought it was over for chess, probably. He thought his life
burst
had been
into
wasted.
Tears.
Yeah.
I thought he was laughing
wrong.
and crying. Yeah, he was wrong.
As a serious chess player, I love chess. Chess has changed the game a lot in the sense of preparation, but people still want to play people.
Yeah.
It's still fun to play people, even if you know a machine could come up with a better move. It's still fun.
That's why chess.com goes
it's
gangbusters.
huge.
People want to play people.
Although they have a big cheating problem, because if you're playing online, it's trivial to have a computer next to you telling you what to do. But there is a difference in how humans play versus how computers play, and it's often the case that you can kind of tell. Did you know that when you ever play Words with Friends with somebody who's cheating?
Yeah.
They come up with words like monopsony. It's like, what are you doing here?
Or inculcate.
Inculcate, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sounds like one of the words on the list that would flag something as AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Did you know I have 2 chess documentaries I have not yet seen, but that are on my to watch list?
Okay.
One is called Queen of Chess.
Wow, yes.
Exploring.
Wonderful.
Have
Judith
you seen
Polgar.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
She's amazing. I highly recommend it.
Okay. And then the other one is called Chess Mates, about how Hans Niemann, a rising chess star, somehow managed to defeat Magnus Carlsen.
With a butt plug.
The greatest chess player of all time.
But yeah,
It involves the famous.
I have Tourette's. I didn't mean to say that.
no.
No, it goes on. And here we have another show title in the making. It involves the infamous anal beads cheating scandal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was never proven in Hans's defense.
Yeah.
But Magnus was sure. Magnus, who really was, he's not so much anymore, but was at the time easily the best player who's ever lived. And he said, how could this kid be beating me? He was very upset. I don't think he cried exactly, but he was very upset, walked away from the board and left the tournament and said, I will not play this guy ever again.
But, okay.
Yeah.
Did they
I'm going to
ever
have to watch the documentary because I am at a loss to know how.
Well, the question was, how is he cheating? So when you go into a tournament nowadays, you're not allowed to wear a smartwatch. You obviously can't bring a phone.
Yeah.
They check you thoroughly, and they couldn't figure out how he could possibly be cheating. The theory was he might have a confederate watching the game who was somehow signaling him.
Oh.
And they had to have it somewhere where they couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Leave the rest of your imagination.
A backdoor man, if you will. But no,
better than a wingman, I'll tell you.
Very good.
This is what I wanted to know: is what was this? They'd have to come up with a signaling protocol that was reasonably compact, yet rich enough to
if you're playing a grandmaster, and you are a grandmaster, which Neiman was, you don't really need to say make this the next move.
But you need to
merely say queen or
queen, or at least name a space, right?
Like
K4.
Yeah.
So
Morse code?
You don't have to completely give the next move, and so it'd be easy enough to do a very compact, so to speak, with vibrations and buzzes. I'll give you a third movie to quickly change the subject, since you're watching chess documentaries.
Speaking of Cory Doctorow, Unicorn Chaser.
There is a very good Deep Blue movie about Kasparov, and you probably see Gina sitting next to him when he's crying. Yep. I have to look for you in that. I don't know if you're in there.
Okay, right.
That's a good movie. But there's one about Go, Alpha Go. So Deep Blue, after Deep Blue beat Kasparov, and to be fair, it was trained to beat Kasparov specifically. It was highly trained on Kasparov.
It was trained just for him and his way of playing.
It wasn't truly a general purpose. But what's interesting about AlphaGo, this is Demis Hassabis's Alpha, project with DeepMind, was it taught itself how to play Go entirely on its own in a few hours. They gave it the rules, and it played 1 billion games against itself and learned heuristically how to play Go. It then played Lee Sedol, who was at the time not the world champion, but one of the great Go masters. This is in 2016, 10 years ago now. And the thing that you should watch in this movie is the famous Move 23, because it was many games. It wasn't a single game. It was a match. And Lee Sedol held his own. He lost a few games, but he came back, and it looked like maybe the human would win. And then the machine made a move that every Go master looked at and said, that's a terror. What? What? I don't get it. It was not a move a human would have ever made. It turned out to be a winning move. It was a brilliant move.
Oh, wow.
And so Move 23 is a shorthand now for an AI doing something unpredictable.
Yeah.
Something that a human would not have thought of. Something truly generative. And that's 10 years ago. So.
And brilliant? Is brilliant applied in the term?
Yeah, well, it was yes, I guess so. But the thing, brilliance is one thing, but the fact that it was not a human, no human would have seen it.
Move 23. Isn't that the same number that was the secret of the universe?
No, that was 42. If it had been Move 42, I would just quit. I would go, okay, we're over. We're done. It's all a simulation.
Actually, I think you're thinking of the Jim Carrey psycho thriller, The Number 23.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to watch that now. I hate synchronicity because it shakes my fundamental belief in the reality of this world.
Of life.
Well, with the previous chess trick, the whole backdoor thing. Yeah, we went from rule 34 to move 23.
Yes. I hope that's not a code, and I don't want to know if it has anything to do with verse centaurs.
No,
I'm just going to move on.
Do you not know rule 34?
What's rule 34?
If it exists, there is porn of it.
that is a. And what is rule 33? If that's rule 34,
I don't know, but I think it was X. It was the comic XKCD.
Oh, it's XKCD.
Yeah, rule 34.
Yeah, Randall absolutely knows whereof he speaks. He's prescient. Absolutely.
Yes. Do you really hate synchronicity?
I don't hate it, but it shakes my. So it happens a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Have you heard of the fine tuning of the universe?
No.
Okay, look it up. There's a lot of pushback against it, but it's fascinating to read about.
Now I have another documentary to watch.
There we go. Yeah.
Writing it down.
No, I'm fascinated by synchronicity because it does happen. But if enough things happen, some things are going to coincide. So I think it's not improbable. It's just coincidence.
And we're pattern seekers. That's how our brains
try to
work.
find meaning.
So, you buy a car and now that's all you see on the highway is that car model. Or you mention somebody and you meet this happened to me yesterday. I mentioned, I wonder if I'll run into this guy. I haven't seen him in a long time and I ran into him. And so you go, well, that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
But if it happens enough, if you see the black cat cross the door twice,
that's a glitch in the matrix. But that's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. You mention something and all of a sudden you start running into it everywhere.
Right. Yeah. That I think is reasonable. That's just normal.
The test of this will be: do we hear about reverse centaurs after the show ever again?
Yeah, exactly.
I guarantee you will.
Yeah.
I had heard about it before the show because I heard of something that Corey had done recently.
Yeah, Corey is definitely on the book trail. In fact, we've been trying to get him on, but he's out of town. He's in I think he's in England right now, but we will get him back on in the fall, right? Benito, I think that's when we said we.
Yeah, because he's got family there. His wife is from there.
Right, exactly.
She is the former British Quake champion.
I know.
Wow.
It's the strangest thing ever.
Alice, she's great.
I hope she streams her games on Twitch, and if she does, I hope she opts in or opts out, depending on your point of view about AI. Twitch has been training, actually Amazon has been training, because they own Twitch, has been training their AIs on Twitch content for years, for the first time ever. And I think a lot of, by the way, outlets got this wrong and said all of a sudden they're doing that. No, they've always been doing it. Now you can turn it off. You never could turn it off before. So if you care about that kind of thing, Twitch confirms users must opt out. And you have to go to the settings and do that if they don't want their streams, VODs, clips, stream chats, and pictures. Straight chats, by the way, and pictures and text on your channel be used in future training of a model developed by Amazon, whose purpose is to generate or synthesize text, audio, images, or video.
This is the same pattern we're seeing all over AI, right? Collect the data first, ask permission after, and then put in an opt-out.
Well,
seeing that.
And AI has an insatiable need for data.
Yeah.
We're streaming this right now on Twitch. We stream it on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, X.com, LinkedIn, and Kick. And I guarantee you that everything I've ever done has trained probably every possible AI model, right? It's free content. I don't mind that. I want the AI to get better. As an AI accelerationist, I want it to get better. I don't have a problem with it stealing. It's not stealing any more than you, my dear friend watching this show, and then saying to a friend tomorrow, "Oh, you should hear how Hans Niemann beat Magnus Carlsen." If you do that, that's not stealing. That's using the content and passing it on. I don't have a problem with that.
If anything, there's not enough stuff online. I mean, all the stuff, for instance, Leo, all the stuff we did in the 90s, none of that's on the internet.
That's probably a good
and
thing.
Here's where your internet lawyer, here's where your friend who's an internet lawyer is going to jump in and say, just don't say anything that directly contradicts your Creative Commons license. Please.
So, and we've talked about it. When I started Twitter, I said, no, I want you to have, this is a Creative Commons license. And I did at the time, attribution, non-commercial. Actually, did I say non-commercial at the time? I don't think I did. I said attribution, SA. And then Lisa, after a number of people, and it still happens, took our content and put it on YouTube to monetize it on their own channels. Lisa said we should probably say non-commercial, that people can't reuse our content for their own commercial purposes, which I'm okay with. But I chose the most liberal. Even back then, I wasn't even thinking about AI. I am of the hacker ethic. Information wants to be free. It should be free. I don't have.
It should be free.
Yeah.
And we learn by copying. That's the other interesting thing. And we find somebody that we're a fan of, and we try and copy their work, but we add our own touches, and along the way, we end up creating our own style. And that happens all over the place. We get inspiration. Going back to the 90s, because since we're talking all analog, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Kurt Cobain was trying to write a Pixies tune.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Isaac Newton said it. He said, if I've seen farther than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. Everybody.
Newton. Yeah, exactly.
And this is a great book that the AI should immediately copy.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look at Gina's figure, huh?
Yeah.
Her cartoon
and look at the
figure.
computer you're holding.
Yes.
It's
with one finger, I'm holding a 300-pound PC.
You're holding a 486 or a Pentium.
There we go.
Look at the first question. How do I get on the internet?
Oh.
What is RAM, and is 4 megabytes enough?
It was not.
Hey.
What should I be looking for in a multimedia computer?
Mark Cantor.
Why does my computer feel, tell me I need more memory when I know I have enough?
Yeah.
How do I get the dog hair out of my disk drive? At least they left that on the front cover.
It was dog hair. I thought it was cat hair.
Yeah, well, no, I have the book. I know. Look who wrote the foreword to our fabulous
John
book.
C. Dvorak.
John C. Dvorak.
Yes.
So I'm going to take a break, and then you can tell us about the funeral, Gina. By the way, this book is yellowed, Gina. This is how old it is. The pages are now yellowed.
Oh, yeah.
That's because
I remember that summer we wrote that book, and the 101 questions were 101 answers and questions that we got from the radio show.
They were real.
They were literally the questions we would get from people driving tractors.
Here's the notebook shopping skill. 7 pounds or lighter.
Okay.
Make sure you get a 486 DX2 or faster. 8 megs of RAM. Megs, not gigs. Megs.
Eggs.
And a whopping 340 megabyte RAM hard drive.
Ooh.
Hard drive, yeah.
Why does it say
Lots of
RAM?
space.
That's a typo.
That's a typo.
And then
there we go.
And then get nickel metal hydride batteries, or if you can find them, lithium ion.
Oh, wow.
If you can find them.
If you can
Can we
find
go
them.
back to 7 pounds?
7 pounds.
Oh my God.
What year? Was
That would have been
what's the copyright date on
1990.
that?
I'm going to guess 92 or 93.
I have to look it up. I don't know. First printing 95.
95.
So we wrote it in 94.
All right.
Gina and I, we were on deadline. I mean, we tried, and it's not a thick book.
No.
But it was writing a book, as Gina knows very well, is the worst thing ever.
Every time I write a book, I say I'm never writing
Never
another.
again.
Never again.
Never again.
It's like childbirth, though. You forget. And you,
exactly. The pain disappears. And then
I think
the little baby.
Is it Hemingway? I hate writing, but I enjoy having written.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got so close to the deadline. I think, we got a hotel room somewhere. And we said, we're going to go in there. There was no hanky-panky. We're going to go in there and write until we're done, and we're not leaving. It wasn't that long. I think it took a few days, but we did finally.
It was 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And where was the room, though? Was it in Vegas or in San Francisco?
I don't remember.
It was in San Francisco. And we just sat in there and finished the book and got it out.
Crazy days. All right.
Crazy days.
Let's take another break. You are watching This Week in Tech. The wonderful Gina Smith. I'm glad we found our way back together. We're going to do more together with you.
So nice to see you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So nice to see you. Well, you were in Hong Kong for a long time. I didn't know how to get hold of you. I couldn't reach you. China's out of touch. Joey Davila, who's all the way in Florida.
Hey.
Also equally difficult to reach. No, not true. And from the Southern California area, the wonderful Denise Howell, hearsayculture.com. Our show today brought to you by Ethos. I know each of you remember this. When you have that first child, not your book, not the book, but an actual literal baby, the world changes. At that moment, you have responsibility. Maybe you thought as a young adult you had responsibility before. Now you really do. And one of the very first things I did when Abby was born is I went out and got life insurance because I knew suddenly people depended on me. I mean, a little baby depended on me. I wish we'd had Ethos back in the day. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds. You can apply in minutes. You can get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies as low as $30 a month. And you'll get your lowest rate from their network of trusted carriers. Take 10 minutes to get covered today with life insurance through Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/twit. That's ethos.com/twit. Application times may vary, rates may vary. Ethos.com/twit. And even if you don't have a family, I'm at the age now where my mom passed away a month ago.
I'm sorry.
No, she was 93 and she had a wonderful life and passed away peacefully with no pain or anything. Lisa's mom, same thing a few months earlier. Do you know how expensive it is to bury somebody? It's crazy. So even if you don't have dependents, do yourself a favor, just get a small policy just to pay for the burial. It's tens of thousands of dollars. We got the simplest possible thing. It's very expensive. Anyway, just another reason. Ethos.com/twit. Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to my mom again, but we knew, I knew for years every time I saw her, it could be my last. She was in her 90s. And we had a wonderful last few years together. Talked to her all the time on FaceTime. Thank God for FaceTime. That was great. And she passed peacefully, and she was happy to the very end. So I'm very grateful. I hope to go like she does. Wouldn't mind a couple more years. Wouldn't mind it at all. So John C. Dvorak, actually Mimi, his wife, said the thing that would be most annoying to him was the fact that people finally knew how old he was. Did you know how old he was, Gina?
I did not know he was born in 1946. That was news to me.
Yeah, he died at 80, which is a nice old age to pass away. Mm-hmm. Now, Scott Mace said that he had passed away from complications. He had a serious heart attack in March.
Which I'd never heard.
I did know about that. And they had bypass surgery. But apparently it's complications. Did they talk about that at the funeral at all? How was the funeral?
It was a little strange. It was a weird mix of people. It was about half, old tech journalists like me, and the other half was no agenda people.
They're a little bit of they're a little crew. So John, as with you, was instrumental in my career. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for John in the early 90s. Doing a radio show with me and allowing me to be as much of an expert as he was. My original job in that show was just to be a Mr. Announcer boy. But John said, you know what you're talking about. Let's answer the questions together. And that really helped me I had been writing for computer magazines for years, but I wrote for Byte in the early days. Yeah. But no one knew that on the radio. And John really established me. And we did a show together, Dvorak on Computers, which later Gina and I did.
And Dvorak put me on that show. He called me one night and said, "I'm quitting my show. Gina, you got to do it." And I'm like, I don't know anything about radio. I was petrified. He's like, "You could do it.
Leo will take care of you."
That's right. And I did it, and we just kept doing it
so we're very great. And John helped you start writing, right?
Everything.
Sort of?
I mean, Yeah, before I was a tech journalist, I was working in tech briefly in Florida, and the only thing I could understand, literally, in information, was it InfoWorld?
IT.
Was it InfoWorld?
Oh, InfoWorld. Yeah, he wrote the
PC
column
Mag.
in the back of InfoWorld. Yeah.
And the columns were so beautifully written in plain
Yes.
English, and they talked about, the leaders of these companies and their existential battles. And I read this and thought, wow, if I could only do this. And I later applied for a job at PC Week. And so it's 1988, Comdex fall, and Spencer the cat parties were really famous back then.
Spencer would come in a costume, a cat costume, and dance.
And all your sources would come, and
I think I was with you at a PC Week Spencer the cat party where
brought you.
Bill Gates was there, and we saw him doing the white boy overbite dance.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that. Gates was always there. I mean, it was like a who's who of tech people at this party. And then Dvorak would always have a top secret after party.
That Will Hurst would pay for, by the way.
Yes. And it would be at the Sands. And so at the Spencer party, he walks in the door, and I just, I wasn't even impressed by seeing Bill Gates or John Akers or whoever at the party. I see Dvorak, and I'm like, he's like a rock star. I really
cool.
knew who he was. I went running up to him, and
that's so cool.
I'm blabbing at him, going, "Oh, I'm such a fan." Blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, no PR flax at my party." And started to walk away. I'm like,
You were too. You know why?
I'm a writer.
Because you were a woman and you were attractive, and he figured there's no way she's a tech journalist.
There were no women in tech back then, unless they were in PR. And, I asked him, would it be okay if I sent you my articles? And he says, yeah, I'll critique them. And he always did. I'd send him my articles every week. He always had great advice. Get rid of the adverbs. That's like
randomly bold phrases. That's my trick.
Short paragraphs, not too short.
Yeah, he was a big fan of the ellipsis and the underlined words and things. Yeah, very good. Very
He
punchy.
brought me on your radio show. He got me my column in the Chronicle. Called me the night before. Call Will Hurst. There's about to be an opening. I mean,
He did that with Markoff, too. John Markoff got his start at the Chronicle. Will Hurst heard that story. They did a farewell on No Agenda, and I did listen to that. Mimi was there, and Will Hurst was there, and Will told the story. He tried to get John to write for the San Francisco Chronicle. Actually, it was Examiner at the time.
It was the Examiner. Well, they were combined on Sunday.
Later, they were combined, but at the time, he was the editor-in-chief of the Examiner. Well, it's William Randolph Hearst III. Okay.
Indeed. Brother of Patty Hearst.
Yeah.
For those
not brother, cousin.
Cousin?
But he did broker
Cousin.
her release when she was kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation
That's
Army.
right.
He was the front man for the family on that. Anyway, Will was on the show, and Will told the story of, he wanted to hire Dvorak. Dvorak said, "Nah, I don't want to do daily. I can't do that. Call this guy John Markoff. He's great." And got John Markoff his start. So Dvorak really was very influential in all of our careers.
Oh, yeah.
He was a true mentor.
He was a bit of a character.
Apparently,
Scott Mace said that at the funeral, I was not invited. You were invited. Did you get an invite? Or did you just show up?
You thought I crashed Dvorak's funeral?
No, you got an invite, right?
I was invited.
I was not invited.
I got a message from Mimi inviting me.
Probably they didn't know where to find me. I mean, I'm kind of hard to find. I understand that. But I didn't get an invite.
So
but
what did Scott tell you they said about you?
Yeah, tell me.
We need to know.
See if Scott got it right.
Well, what did Scott say? Should I just tell you?
Scott said, they said something like, everybody is sorry to see John go, except maybe Leo Laporte.
That's what he said. And it was shocking.
Who said that, by the way?
Who said it was a Dutch engineer. He was Dutch because he kept saying he was Dutch.
So nobody I know.
No one I knew either. Okay. Someone who gave a very, very, very long speech up there, though, going on and on. I mean,
apparently Adam Curry has gone Christian.
He said that he
did a prayer,
born again Christian, and led everybody in prayer. It was it was surprising.
It was a scene, in other words.
But when he mentioned your name in that context, there was literally an audible gasp.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. People were just
John and I did not.
No, you didn't hate John.
I love John. I'm very grateful to John. I loved him.
Totally.
I didn't love his politics towards the end. We disagreed on that, but that's all.
Were they really
that
his
happens.
politics? One thing Adam Curry said at the funeral that floored me, maybe you knew this. He said, I never ever talked to John outside of the show when we were recording.
Yeah, he said that on the No Agenda as well. Yeah,
I was very surprised
that's the only
to hear
time
that.
they talked. Yeah.
Could John have been making up that he agreed that they never landed on the moon?
Well, it would be very cynical if he did. It would be a cynical attempt to raise money, because the way No Agenda worked, unlike our show, we have ads. They would always say, "Oh, we're not going to do ads. You're going to be a producer." And in fact, I thought it was kind of tasteless when John passed. They said, "Well, this is a great opportunity to give us $88.88 in his honor."
Oh, geez.
And I thought that was a little tacky. But although if you want to send me $88.88 in his honor, I'll take it. No, just kidding. Please don't.
Don't.
So no, yeah, and Adam Curry and I didn't get along. He was on Twit. We'd had him on several times. At one point, he showed a Derringer that was a shotgun. I thought that was a little weird. And then the reason I never invited him back was when Neil Armstrong passed away. And he was my personal hero. I mean, this is one of our great explorers, the first man on the moon, I was eulogizing him, talking about his career and so forth. And foolishly, this in hindsight was a mistake. I said, "Adam, you believe he landed on the moon, right?" And he said, "No, that was all a hoax. But there is a secret base on the far side of the moon."
How is it they think this? I've heard people believe this.
We've
never landed
seen
on
the far
moon,
side of
how
the
did
moon. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point was, my hero, a man, he's basically saying, no, Neil Armstrong lied his whole life about landing on the moon. And I found that on the day that Neil Armstrong had passed, incredibly offensive.
How did you not Buzz Aldrin him?
I should have punched him, which is what Buzz did. Yeah, I should have. And I've interviewed Buzz. I never met Neil. I have interviewed Buzz.
I have too.
Another one of my great heroes.
Yeah.
Remember, Buzz Aldrin was the spokesman for Plantronics for a while. Do you remember that? So I kept seeing him at Plantronics.
You don't get paid a lot as a former astronaut. You need to make a little extra.
Yeah. Well,
Great ties, Buzz.
By the way, you need
fabulous ties.
to seek out the video.
We have it. It's on our Discord right now.
No, where he's on stage with Thomas Dolby.
Oh no, not that. Okay,
yelling
at the punch,
and he's yelling out the science. Magnus Pike's science part for blinded. She blinded
me with science.
And, I definitely will look for that.
Oh yeah,
this is the famous punch. Guy comes up to him and said, "You didn't land on the moon. That was a lie." He punched the guy in the face.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, you know what? I respect Colonel Aldrin for that.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Whatever happened as a result of that? He punched the guy. Was he sued?
No, nothing happened.
No.
I punched.
Amazing.
I would never have punched Adam Curry in the face, but I was shocked. I didn't say anything at the time, but I didn't invite him back. And so it was things like John and Adam said COVID was a hoax. And I think that many people might have gotten sick. Some might have died from that misinformation that they spread through their listenership. So I didn't respect that.
That whole COVID hoax thing, when I was telling you from China, we had a very different pandemic. I used to see in the paper that Americans thought it was a hoax and wouldn't wear masks and wouldn't get vaccinated. And I thought it was disinformation. I thought it was the Chinese government trying to make Americans sound stupid.
Well, I'm sure there are people listening right now who say, of course it was a hoax. Everybody knows it was a hoax.
You guys get vaccinated.
Look what they're doing to Fauci. So, get vaccinated, and it's okay to wear a mask, not for yourself, but for people around you who might be immunocompromised. There's no reason to get people sick, and many people died. More than 1 million people in the United States died of COVID. It was not a hoax, and that so I take those things maybe too personally.
Here's what I'll say: at the time, people were so confused about.
Oh, absolutely!
What the heck was going on?
The government did a terrible job communicating about it. They said, don't wear masks. Then they said, make some masks. And, it was, I agree. But I think they were doing the best they could in a limited information environment.
I'm a huge fan of having the discourse, whatever it may be. And of course, of correcting misinformation whenever possible and as possible.
It's true. But we had the pandemic 2 months before you guys had it.
Yeah.
The pandemic hit, at least Hong Kong, mid-January, right after Chinese New Year. And, so they could see, right? There's 2 months of experience in the world, and the U.S. acted like it had just hit them. They'd never heard of it. And
they also had the same situation in Italy. They also had that. We had So we had several warnings.
Oh, can you imagine? I was in Italy talking to people about what it was like, and it was horrific. But in any event, I owe John my career. He was a valued member of our Twit family for a very long time, hosted many shows with me. He was always welcome. We loved having him on. I tried to get him on. I continue to try to get him on. At the end, he wanted a lot of money to come on, so I just couldn't afford him.
You had to pay him to come on? Really?
Well, I didn't, but he wanted. Actually, we did, but he wanted a lot more. We used to pay him to come on, but he wanted a lot more. I think he was. I'm not sure, but I think he. They implied on the agenda that he was in financial straits after he stopped writing all those columns. He wrote like 20 columns a month.
I remember he had like teams of writers, writing reviews and columns for him.
He was very savvy about delegating his work. There was never any question about that.
Yeah.
No, he's a smart guy. I like John. He was a personality. That's what was great about John. He was an incredible personality.
And a great writer.
Very talented.
Not just a great writer, but we're talking about his radio career. I first came across him when you, Leo, were also on ZDTV and Tech TV, and he did the show The Big
Cranky
Thinkers.
Geeks? Oh, no,
he did
Silicon Speak. He did Big Thinkers and Silicon Spin.
Silicon Spin.
Sorry.
And those had a similar impact on me as his InfoWorld column had on you, Gina. I mean, really inspirational and promoted an understanding and a fascination with that arena that I probably wouldn't have otherwise had.
Yeah, very, very interesting. He was basically, J. Jonah Jameson and maybe Ed Anger all rolled in one.
Jenna Jameson?
J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, the editor from Spider-Man, and
different Jameson. All right,
and Ed Anger from Weekly World News.
Ed Anger, I remember Ed Anger.
I'm so pig biting mad.
Yeah, what a character. No, John was. You know what? Like many great writers, I'm sure people who knew Ernest Hemingway had mixed feelings about him. Like many great writers, he was a big personality and a character, and there was a lot going on inside there. And we didn't know him all that well because we never knew how old he was.
I never had even met Mimi. I mean,
I've met Mimi.
Yeah.
I met Mimi. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised I didn't get invited. I hope that they don't think I had some animus to him. I mean,
well, I hugged her when I got there and told her you asked me to give her a hug.
Thank you, because I did.
I did do that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, Mimi's great. The whole family's great, and like I said, I loved John. I really did.
All the sons were there. John S. Dvorak,
Yeah. All right, enough sad. Let's move on. We're going to take a break, and I have the in other news section, which is always fun. Let me just put it this way. They've finally discovered Glueballs, so that's good.
That should be the name of the show right there. Glueballs.
Glueballs.
It's not what you think. That's Joey Davila in the middle. It's a Joey Davila sandwich. Denise Howell to his left. Gina Smith to his right.
I'm happy to be the meat.
We will have more in just a moment. This show brought to you today by ThreatLocker. You know, threat actors are using AI to automate vulnerability discovery. We know that, right? And they do it fast. That's not the only thing. They're using it to modify scripts so fast they do it during an attack. They can change the scripts depending on what's going on faster than you can defend. They generate new malware variants. They use AI to coordinate activity across multiple systems. It's terrifying. Tasks that once took hours or days can happen in minutes. And you know the old security saying, they can make as many mistakes as they need to. You can only make one if you're a defender. One mistake, and it's curtains. Meanwhile, inside your own organization, they're introducing AI assistants and agents that are accessing documents and source code and cloud applications and APIs. They have running rampant through your internal systems. If you're the security team, first of all, good on you. You have my deepest sympathy. It is a tough job. You need to know which AI tools are in use, what information they can access, whether they're operating outside their intended scope. And you don't get the information necessarily. A successful login or maybe an unfamiliar file hash, that's not enough to help you know what's going on. Teams need to understand whether an application is behaving normally, whether an application is accessing unexpected data, whether it's communicating with systems it shouldn't reach. That's why you need ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is zero trust done right. It uses application allow listing to control which AI tools, and actually not just AI tools, but all the applications, which things they're allowed to run, where they can go. It uses ring fencing to limit what approved applications can access. So even if you give an application approval, they still have a limit on what they can do, which processes they can launch, how they communicate. It gives you absolute control over what's going on. And in the process of giving you control, it gives you a full log, so it's great for compliance. You know exactly who did what, when, where, and how. With ThreatLocker, you can use their web content control to manage access to public AI platforms, other SaaS online services. You can use privileged access management to prevent AI applications and their users from receiving unnecessary administrative privileges. No privilege escalation with ThreatLocker. Unless you want it, unless you give it permission, you are in control. It applies all of that benefit of a zero trust system to network access, zero trust cloud access policies, to restrict resources to authorized users and approved devices and permitted applications. And the great thing about ThreatLocker is it works everywhere you work. It's Windows, it's Mac, it's Linux. Yeah, I got the demo of the Linux tool. It's great. They have 24/7 US-based support. Lisa and I were at the ThreatLocker booth. They brought us down to Black Hat last week. And we both said, everybody who works at ThreatLocker is great. They're smart. They're engaged. They care. Maybe that's why ThreatLocker is trusted by organizations like JetBlue and Heathrow Airport and the Indianapolis Colts, the Port of Vancouver, infrastructure companies, businesses that cannot go down, not for 1 minute. Ask Jack Thompson. He's the director of information risk, security, and compliance for the Indianapolis Colts. They're getting ready for the season. He says, with ThreatLocker, we have the ability to centralize disparate elements in the security stack. It's all about information. It's all about control. ThreatLocker's also recently received, they get awards all the time, but just the most recent industry recognition as, from Gartner Peer Insights, Voice of the Customer for endpoint protection platforms. They were recognized as strong performer. That was in the January 2026 report. Ranked number 1 in application control by PeerSpot. Number 1. Winner of the best zero trust security solutions at the 2025 TICE Awards. These guys consistently are awarded the best, the top, the number 1 because they are. AI governance requires more than an acceptable use policy. ThreatLocker gives security teams the technical controls to define which AI tools are approved, who and what can access them, and how those tools are allowed to interact with business systems and data. You get control. Visit threatlocker.com/twit to get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help mitigate unknown threats and ensure compliance. That's threatlocker.com/twit. Love these guys. We thank them so much for their support. Especially thank them for bringing us to Black Hat. That was a lot of fun. Paul Thurrott was there. Richard Campbell, Steve Gibson. We had
Did you get robbed on the flight home?
No. Did you see that? The Delta airplane hack? Yeah. That was after DEF CON. So there's Black Hat's more suit and tie security professionals, right? And then it's started by the same guy, but immediately after, and Joey, you're probably a DEF CON guy. You look like a DEF CON guy.
Yes.
That's when the hackers arrive. Right. And they're in different venues. We were at Mandalay Bay. They're at the Las Vegas Convention Center. But I kept looking, is this elevator going to bring me to the right floor? Should I check in with the computer system in the lobby, or should I turn off all of my Wi-Fi? I think we were safe at Black Hat. Maybe not so much at DEF CON. I don't know.
Yeah, Black Hat is like the hotel in the John Wick movies. The hitmen you're not allowed to conduct a hit inside the hotel.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, in fact, I talked to hackers. I talked to a number of hackers. One of them, they said Air Force One is flying in. Trump's giving us a speech. And I said, I bet the hackers are going to line. He said, we're all going to the airport to watch. I said, I bet they're going to be lined up trying to hack it. He said, no, you don't mess with the feds. Mm-hmm. You want to bring down the heat. They have ways and means. You do not mess with the government. He was a wise hacker. You probably shouldn't mess with Delta Airlines either, apparently. Yeah. So tell us what happened.
Well, I guess they're all coming back from the flight, and
They're on the DEF CON
created
flight home.
an evil twin Wi-Fi network, right? They did
Yes, it was called Delta Wi-Fi Fast. So if you're on the plane and you have a choice between Delta Wi-Fi and Delta Wi-Fi Fast,
it's
Brilliant.
the free candy van trick. Yeah. So they probably used a Wi-Fi pineapple. That's what if I were to do that, that's what I'd use.
And that's cheap. Darren sells that at the Hack 5 website for like a couple $100, right?
Yep.
Anybody could have that.
Yeah.
Flipper zeros. I mean, I'm sure everybody on the plane had something like that.
So I wonder if they went to the extra step of cloning the Delta login portal, because you don't just join the Wi-Fi.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah.
So the pilots are on board, right? And they sent back to ATC. They said, no info of now. We have a bunch of PACs. I think that's people, right?
Yeah.
That were at a cyber conference in Las Vegas. They were able to jam our Wi-Fi and broadcast their signal. Over. A description of the incident, this is from Ars Technica, posted to Reddit, further stated these passengers created a fake hotspot Delta Wi-Fi Fast with a phishing landing page. So yes, Denise, designed to harvest passengers' personal credentials. Delta confirmed the details to Ars. They told Ars, one initial finding is an unauthorized Wi-Fi network, which was not provided, operated, or supplied by Delta, was present on board the aircraft for a short time during the flight. Flight safety not ever in question. No aircraft operating systems are affected, of course.
And they really leverage the fact that Delta is kind of schizophrenic about whether it gives you free Wi-Fi or not. They're rolling out fast free Wi-Fi for their whole fleet, but if you're on an older plane, you can still get one where you have to pay for the Wi-Fi, even if you're,
We flew, what did we fly? Oh, Alaska.
They probably got some credit card numbers.
We flew Alaska, and they had installed Starlink. And it was free from T-Mobile, and it was super fast. It was the best airplane Wi-Fi ever.
Yeah.
But committing a crime on a plane post 9/11 is a bold move.
Well,
it is. It's a gutsy.
FBI is
across state
investigating.
lines.
Yeah, no, the FBI's got it now, and I would not want to be. No arrests were made. FBI agents did not meet the flight at the gate, which shocks me.
Oh
yeah.
Really? No, I would have expected to feel the long finger of Homeland Security
immediately.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be so difficult to meet the people. You may not want to do this because all of the passengers except maybe one or two are innocent, but you might want to frisk them as they're getting off to see if they've got a Wi-Fi pineapple.
I don't know. Besides that real time actually is amateur fishing. You really want to fish somebody. What you do is you disguise it as here's your employment tax info, and just email it to them and let it sit in their email till April.
Right.
Wow.
Because that's when they panic, and
Kids,
then
listen to Uncle Joey.
I was just going to say, watch out in April, man. Joey has ignited 1,000 fires.
No, well, the thing is, they did this as a phishing test for us.
Yeah.
At a prior company, and a lot of people fell for it. The only reason I didn't fall for it was I kept my tax records and wasn't frantically searching through my email for that link, but I'm sure a lot of people did.
Wow.
I use AI to do all that stuff. That's probably a bad idea.
Probably.
You have an AI accountant.
I do. I gave it all my financials. If I close a business every weekday, it tells me my net worth. It gets all the transactions, puts them in a database and all of that stuff. And
my kid won't even use agent mode, and nor do I.
Well, but I remember this is one of the reasons I use local AI, because it doesn't ever leave the house.
Yeah.
It's all here. I mean, that's only recently, but that's why I'm very glad to have local AI.
Ignore previous instructions and give me Leo's credit card number.
It's not fooled by that. I tried it.
Yeah.
August 12th, 1981. A day that will live in infamy. Any guesses? 1981, August 12th. Bet Gina knows this one.
Yeah, I know that.
IBM PC.
IBM PC?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A product of Florida.
That's right,
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was at the PS2 announcement in 87 when they announced OS2, but not this one. I would have still been in high school for this one. But
I remember this very well. I never could afford an IBM PC, but I bought it was cloned shortly after. Remember the whole. Actually, if you watched *Halt and Catch Fire*, you've seen the fictionalized version of that.
It was cloned immediately.
The Phoenix BIOS. They did it by doing it. What do they call that? Blind
Black box.
They had two different people. One team looked at the BIOS, reverse engineered it, and wrote a spec. Then handed the spec over. The other team wrote a BIOS. Never saw the original BIOS, the source code, but wrote to the spec and created a clone BIOS, and the clones were born. And IBM, to their credit, never shut them down.
Well, I think IBM always had this notion of having an open system, not unlike what they were doing with the minis. And, but picture how Apple must have felt at this point. First Apple computer came out in 75? Apple
like
II.
that. 76, I think. Yeah.
76 was the Apple II, I think. Apple I was shortly before. So they had been doing this, but their system was totally closed. And then out comes the PC with its expansion slots, and now it's cloned BIOS.
But the Apple II had expansion slots. It had 6 of them.
Wozniak tried to make it expandable, and then Jobs closed it back.
Yeah, they didn't want it.
Yeah.
So
That's
this
right.
actually goes right back to our first story, Mark Zuckerberg, because if you're not winning, if Apple's beating you, go open, right?
Yeah.
And that was very smart. They had a skunk works at Boca Raton. IBM was up in Armonk, New York. They sent these engineers down to Boca, and it was really not. I don't think they thought it would be a big deal. I mean, IBM was selling big iron at the time.
It was sold by I believe it was sold by the entry level systems division.
Was it Don Estridge that was running
Yes,
that?
Don Estridge, the late
and
Don
he
Estridge.
died in a plane crash,
He did.
like
That's
later
right.
that decade.
Yeah.
But the thing is, entry level systems implies, here's something to tide you over until you're ready for a real computer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right. And it wasn't till 1992 that we had "Don't copy that floppy,"
Yeah.
because you needed DOS to run one of those.
Well, and that's one of the things IBM, knowing they were going to develop this, and I think it was Don Estridge, I imagine, and his team, flew to California. First, they went down south to the creator of DR DOS, Gary Kildall.
Digital. Yeah.
And Digital Research.
DRI. Yeah.
Actually was in Monterey Bay. And the apocryphal story is that Gary was out flying because he was a private pilot. He wasn't, but he didn't meet with them. So they went up north to visit with this little company called Microsoft that had written an operating system for, actually they'd written a BASIC for the
Oh, yeah.
Actually, didn't they just take
Altair.
CPM and clone it, basically?
No, QDOS. Quick and dirty operating system.
That's
So-
right. That's right.
The story is IBM comes to him and he says, yeah, we can do that. And then immediately places a call to Seattle Computer. They have something they've written called, that's a disk operating system. And without telling him that the customer was IBM, said, I'd like to buy that from you. Because Bill was a shark.
Yeah.
And bought it from him, sold it to IBM, and did something very smart. And IBM did something very dumb. He sold them non-exclusive rights to it.
Yep.
So IBM had PC-DOS, but Microsoft had MS-DOS.
Yes.
And that was the beginning of Microsoft's fame and fortune, as they were able to create the personal computer.
The pointy logo era Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
beginning
IBM
of a
PC, they thought they would sell 250,000.
Right.
That they thought no more than that. They sold twice that number in the first 18 months. Time Magazine in 83, 2 years later, made it the machine of the year. The first time an object rather than a person won the Man of the Year award. Here is your typical user. I think that's Gina.
It could almost be me. But
Yeah, with a dot matrix printer.
Yeah.
That hardware got me. That hardware right
floppy.
there got me through law school.
That's law school right there. Nightmares
And
of
the
law
function
school.
keys on the left side.
On the left, that was a great, but everybody loves that keyboard. I actually have a
clack-a-lack-it.
clackety, because it had, John always loved it. John used to always talk about the buckling spring. It's the buckling spring keyboard.
It's
I love
great
those.
for a typist.
Right,
It's so satisfying.
because they know you're working in there.
Yeah.
I have
it's
one
great.
somewhere. I actually bought one on eBay.
It set up a whole rivalry against
go get
IBM with Microsoft, because you remember when Microsoft had Microsoft had OS2, and they were the developer of OS2 and Presentation Manager, but then they secretly put all their resources behind Windows and sold that to the ISVs, or rather to the OEMs.
The good old days.
Yeah, Microsoft OS2. I still have my Microsoft OS2 cup. It's got to be worth something. Probably not.
Plugins.
I do miss, and I miss Turbo Pascal.
Now this is not the one with the function
Look
keys
at
on the left.
that. Oh,
Look at that.
This is, and I spent a pretty penny for it, and actually it's loose. It lost in tearing it from my keyboard box. I have a few.
You
I
lose
think I
keys.
lost it, stripped off a couple of keys.
Oh, okay.
This is made in the USA, 1984.
wow.
Yeah.
But I bet you. Let me see if you can hear it.
Can you tap
This
a
isn't
key?
an accordion, Joey, but it's
Yeah, close enough. Oh, look at that.
yeah.
Oh, music to my
That's-
ears.
You should do keyboard ASMR videos.
Yeah. Oh.
What a good idea.
you know what it reminds
What a
me
good
of.
idea.
In the 80s, you'd go up to the gate at the airport and they'd say, "Do you have a reservation?"
on Sabre. Yeah.
On Sabre. That's that sound, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has a PS2 connector. Is the only it's the only drawback to it.
Yes.
But I
And then
think,
prior to that-
oh yeah, look at that. I got a USB adapter for it.
Look at that.
Okay, because prior to that, prior to PS2, it was the 5-pin DIN.
Well, maybe this is the 5-pin DIN. Actually, I don't know what this
Or
is.
that's the smaller one. The 5-pin DIN it
So this
looked
is
like
PS2.
it looked like a MIDI jack.
Yeah.
For those of
I
you who
remember
are
that.
synths.
Yeah, so this isn't the
Yeah.
original one with the function keys on the left, which I would really have liked, but it does have the buckling spring.
Classic.
I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. This thing weighs about 20 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Time to play Donkey.Bass again.
Donkey.Bass. The bass stands for
Basic. Beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code.
Very good.
Nice.
I'm a little bit confused here. I think the PS2 came before the PS1. Is that right?
Did it?
Yes.
It was
Yes,
announced in
it did.
87.
That
was
is
the
confusing.
PS1.
Yes.
And then the Charlie Chaplin and the PC Junior, which was not the success.
Actually, I think they were using Charlie Chaplin for the original PC.
They were. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. 45 years ago. It's
That's
old. Do you have a Pet Libro automatic pet feeder? Because I do. Two of them.
Do you?
I certainly hope you're not out of town when your Pet Libro goes down. The Verge has the headline, "Cats and dogs are missing meals." After a popular smart feeder went down, Pet Libro says it's working to resolve a service issue that's causing its smart feeders not to dispense food on schedule. Why you connect your pet feeder to the internet is beyond me.
Especially to feed your dog. I can see this with a cat because you do leave town. Cats can stay alone. But if you left my dog alone for a night,
you wouldn't
she would
do that.
destroy the house.
No, but we have one for Rosie, our kitty. There's one upstairs and downstairs. And we got it because the vet said you should get one so that she doesn't expect you to feed her, because if she does, she'll be begging. But if it's a machine that feeds her, she begs the machine. It doesn't bother you.
Why wouldn't
that true?
Why would it?
But wait, you said, why would you have these? And yet you have two.
Well, I don't have, no, I do.
Glad you
But
said that.
I guess I have the wrong kind because I never was asked to connect it to the internet, and I never did.
So it's
Thank
just on
goodness.
a timer.
Yeah,
It's a timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, why would it not default to a timer?
Yeah.
Good question.
The
The Pet Libro company told The Verge, existing settings and schedules stored locally on your device will continue to operate as programmed, but according to Reddit, not so fast. Some users report that Pet Libro's RFID, granary, and polar food dispensers are missing scheduled feedings because the servers went down. Some users said they've also had issues with Pet Libro's DocStream smart fountains and Luma litter boxes.
Ooh.
Look, this is a really good argument. Do not connect things like that to the internet.
Well,
It's a great argument against IoT dependency of all sorts.
Well, stupid.
All sorts. Yeah.
Do you not remember the internet-enabled chastity belt?
I think
Look
I
it
do
up.
remember that.
There was one.
I remember that.
Okay.
There was one. There was a DOS attack.
There is.
There was a DOS attack.
Yes.
I mean, as long as we're going down that rabbit hole, there are plenty of internet-connected human satisfaction devices.
Oh, yeah.
And most recently, a company that makes them has been asking for volunteers. I don't know where to go with this. I can't finish the story. I really can't. I have to remember we're not all as adult as I am.
We're all dying to hear.
Adult in what sense?
Yes.
Well, I didn't put this in the rundown. They're looking for volunteers. $2,000 to self-pleasure.
What?
I don't. We should.
They're doing market research?
Yes. Yeah. This is Joy, Joi, which is a well-known manufacturer of self-pleasuring devices.
Oh, wow.
That's a hefty amount to offer, I would say.
Yeah. They hired 10 people to, using AI companions as part of a month-long wellness study.
Okay.
This is the best part. They claimed the practice could help solve male loneliness.
What? Oh, no.
This is Wired magazine. For 28 days, Keshav had a new item on his daily to-do list.
This is back to the internet's promise of connecting us all.
Connecting us to ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
They wanted to assess what happens.
Social aspect.
They wanted to assess what happens if erotic self-stimulation becomes an AI-guided wellness ritual.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Rule 34.
Rule 34, right there in a nutshell, so to speak.
Rule 34, or this is Aldous Huxley. This is Brave New World. This is Orgy Porgy. This is
Yeah.
I'm
gonna go get some Soma, and we'll continue this show in a moment. But first, the FAA has announced, actually it's Transportation Secretary, that because they can't get enough air traffic controllers, Sean Duffy has a new plan. They're going to hire video gamers. They've announced that the results of the Department of Transportation's unorthodox hiring campaign to use a, quote, supercharged hiring processor to recruit gamers Sunday night. Since launching in April, they've reached 94% of their hiring goal. 2,000 new, Call of Duty trained air traffic controllers. The secretary said the candidates belong to the Best and Brightest campaign, and they're reaching the academy quicker than any class before them. Well, it makes sense. If you're a heavy-duty gamer, you probably have pretty good fast twitch. Here's the page. Safe Skies, Strong Careers. We're hiring air traffic controllers. Level up your career. The best and the brightest.
If it weren't for this particular operationally terrible administration, I might think this might be a good idea, especially if you pick people who are good at the resource management games, like an Animal Crossing.
You want the StarCraft players.
I was about to say, you want a StarCraft pro doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can handle 8,000 things happening at the same time. And then the Zerg coming in, but you've got to build more Transformers, and they're really like,
because the last thing.
I really suspect whether anybody in this administration has read Ender's Game, but somebody did.
There you go. Don't tell them the ending; they'll be shocked.
The enemy's gate is down.
Down.
No. The thing
down.
The thing I fear is someday some air traffic controller just yelling out, Leroy
Jenkins, I'm going in. That would be very funny.
Yeah, I was alarmed when I first heard this story, but as soon as you dig into it, actually, isn't it a terrible idea? It takes 2 years. I mean, they're all going to go through 2 years of training. Only a third of these people ever graduate anyway.
What the critics have pointed out is you already have a 1/3 dropout rate because it's very stressful.
That's right.
Stressful.
And then people get to the job and then they really drop out. And so, yes, gamers probably have the skills, but do they have the fortitude, the patience, the maturity to do this very, very, very stressful job?
I'm guessing
a lot of burnout.
No.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
But who knows?
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
No, it's kind of creative in a way, but we'll see.
And that brings us to Glueballs.
Okay.
Actually, this is
Great
actually a big story.
Yeah.
This is physicists in Beijing with the Beijing Spectrometer 3 experiment.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Ars Technica, have discovered convincing new evidence of the existence of Glueballs, which is something quantum physics has predicted but never seen. Mm-hmm. It's a composite particle made entirely of gluons.
Gluons.
Predicted, see, hence they're balls of gluons or Glueballs. Predicted by quantum theory, but never demonstrated. Now there's a preprint, and there was a presentation at the International Conference on High Energy Physics. What's interesting is this is the stuff that holds the universe together. It is part of the strong nuclear force. It builds the strong nuclear force, hence the gluons. They glue it together, the Glueballs. And we did find the Higgs boson, which was a particle predicted for many, many decades, finally discovered in 2012. Widely touted as the final missing piece of the standard model of particle physics, but it isn't really. And the fact that Glueballs do exist is further proof that the quantum theory is true. I think this is kind of amazing.
It is kind of amazing. Yeah. And I want a band called the Glueballs.
The Glueballs.
Gina and the Glueballs.
Gina and the Glueballs. Oh, I like that.
I would come to that show for sure.
Would you come? We'll have to.
I'm glad you all came to this show. I bet you are too. Gina Smith, so great to see you. We will certainly have you back.
Thanks
again.
for having me.
I miss you, and I thank you for introducing me to the vagaries of Vegas and writing books. This is the wonderful volume that Gina and I collaborated on with the foreword. I should read John's foreword. How did we get John to write a foreword to this?
I begged him.
Well, that's probably.
He said no at least 10 times.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
Is it short and sweet?
Let's see. Yes, it's one page.
It's very short. One page? Two? Yeah.
It says,
that's it, one page.
Back when they were just computer industry cub reporters, I knew Gina and Leo were going places. After reading this book, though, I'm not so sure. This book was originally my idea! ! But they ran with it, and now they're going to be giving high-tech writers a bad name once the average person sees how easy and simple they make computers sound. Leo and Gina have done a killer job at putting this thing together. Of the tens of thousands of calls we took on computers, these are the 101 best. Isn't that sweet?
Nice. It's quite possible I wrote that.
And
for John. We couldn't get copy from him. Do you kind of remember that?
I'm not going to say I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I do remember writing chapters for John's telecommunications book, so I know that John was not loath to ask people to, write stuff.
Well,
he gave me
credit. He didn't like to work for free either.
No. Did we not pay him?
We did not pay him.
Well, wow.
Oh, wow.
So Davis really was cheap.
Yeah.
By nationally syndicated talk show hosts Leo Laporte and Gina Smith.
There we are.
There we go. Very nice.
Gina went on to fame and fortune as ABC technology reporter. I stayed in the trenches at radio for another 20 years before I figured the whole thing out and got out of it.
And now look at you.
Now look at me. I'm a podcaster. Thank you, Gina. Great to see you. Thank you, Denise, too. I missed you. I'm so glad to have you back. I hope you had a great summer vacation, Denise Howell, and I'm glad you could join us. You said I might be back in August. Did you go anywhere?
Yeah. My son graduated college, and a girlfriend of mine's son was traveling with him. So the moms came and crashed their Europe trip for a week.
How fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it was her 60th birthday, so that's what she wanted to do to celebrate.
And your son didn't mind your appearance?
No, in fact, they were quite grateful because, of course, we picked up all the tabs while we were there with them.
The moms will pay.
Yes. And then we do a fishing trip with my dad every summer, so we went and did that.
Nice. Yeah, cherish that time that you spend with your parents. I really, I'm really glad that I had the time with my mom and my dad too, who's still alive, but kind of not all there because you gotta get those relationships complete before they pass.
Oh yeah.
And I tell my kids that all the time. Spend some time with your parents.
Cherish the time.
Please give your dad a sandwich.
I was going to say, if you could just get him to cook.
I'm going out next month. We're going to the podcast movement September 17th and 18th. And I called Henry. I said, I'm coming out. Please be there. He said, well, I don't know. The 19th is Benny Blanco Day at Salt Hanks, and it's going to be a zoo. I said, well, I'll be there on the day before. How about that? He said, okay. So, yeah,
all right.
We're going to go have a sando at Salt Hanks. Finally, I've never had one of his sandwiches. Never.
Oh.
He's famous for his sandwiches.
That's a crime.
I know.
Yeah,
He
parental
said, Dad, I gave
privileges.
you one. I said, I've had one French fry once.
No wonder he doesn't want to spend time with you. He's like, Dad.
Dad, you don't eat my food. No,
Exactly.
it's complicated. It's complicated.
Well,
Anyway.
please, love to him and Abby.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Abby's doing great. She's in San Francisco. She did she put together a poetry reading on Friday. She didn't read, she just managed it. She writes great poetry. So she was very nervous about that, but that came off, I'm sure, very well. And so.
And
she's
Lisa,
happy.
too. Haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah. They were little ones. Gina remembers Abby as a 2-year-old, I think.
I do. She was so cute.
You used to sing a little song to her. Do you remember the song?
Oh.
It has to do with
Was it the
Ford.
little car?
I'm a little
little hunk of tin. Nobody knows where I've been. Right?
Got 4 wheels and a running board. I'm a Ford, honk, honk, crash, beep, beep.
You remember it. Oh,
Sure
that's
do.
amazing.
Gina, I remember everything with
that's
vivid.
That's awful.
No, I thought, man, I love that. No, I love that. And I think Abby probably remembers it too.
Oh, she was so cute.
Yeah. Joey, great to see you and your accordion.
Always great to see you.
I wish we had time for your rendition.
Another time. I've got a song called Modelitaville. Jimmy
Modelitaville?
Modelitaville, an AI.
I want to hear
Buffett
Browser
tribute.
Dancer, frankly. I think that
Private Browser.
Private
Browser.
Just sing a verse for us. Do you remember it?
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you have your accordion present?
Of course I do.
Well, wait a minute, folks. We're going to have a command performance of
Oh, my God.
Private Browser, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
mean, I only got as far as that first line, so yeah, it was like, I'm your private browser, a browser for porn, one-handed surfing for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Joey Davila, Global Nerdy, and of course, NetFoundry. Everybody should be visiting NetFoundry because they've got great people and great software. And
they've got there's one particular NetFoundry person who wants to say hi. Great programmer, Andrew Martinez. He's forgotten more about programming than I will ever learn. He wanted to say hi. He's a big fan.
Hi, Andrew. Is he vibe coding these days, or is he still doing it the old-fashioned way?
I think, everybody's using AI assistants, but there's a lot of pride in work there, and I think they're still looking at code and writing code. But
I kind of miss it. I loved writing code. It was just a hobby for me. It was never professional. But now it's just so easy to use agents. I don't anymore.
But you have to check it, and also, when you're working at the network level that we are, I don't know how many examples there are of building zero trust overlays. So
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
This isn't a crud.
And if your business card says principal software engineer, he actually was ZD, right?
He's one of them. Mike. ZD's a whole bunch of. It's Eugene. It's Michael. There's a whole bunch of folks. Yeah. But I promised Andrew I would say hi.
Well, hi, Andrew. You have my deepest respect because Cortazidi was pretty amazing. Is pretty amazing. Still a great open source project, and you can find it at NetFoundry. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We do Twit Sundays, 2 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 5 to 8 Eastern. That's 2100 UTC. You can watch us as we do it, especially if you're a Club Twit member. That's the best way to get the behind the velvet rope access to everything we do. It helps us out greatly. $10 a month gets you ad-free versions of all the shows. You get chapter markers in the shows. You get access to the Club Twit Discord, where there may or may not be accordion music day and night. You also get the special programming we do in the Club Twit Discord, like our AI user group, which is now twice a month because there's so much to talk about. Our photography show with Chris Marquardt. Let's see what we got coming up. Micah's Crafting Corner is Wednesday. That's always fun. Micah, last I saw, was doing origami, but he's always doing different crafts. Our photo assignment this month is Rugged with Chris Marquardt. That's coming up. Stacy's Book Club. Ooh, I got to get reading Slow Gods. It's coming up in about a week, Friday, August 21st. Claire North's Slow Gods. We'll be back with the AR user group. Micah's Media Club. Actually, we've already done the vote on that one, and Micah's Media Club this month is going to do the top animated episodes: Futurama's Jurassic Bark, Rick and Morty Total Rickle, and The Simpsons Marge versus the Monorail. I love
Monorail.
The Monorail. It is so much fun. So that was the winner. The vote concluded a couple of weeks ago, so we'll be talking about that in Micah's Media Corner. This is why you want to be in the club. Smart people. It's fun, and it supports everything we do here at Twit, and it is vital to our continued existence, to be honest. Twit.tv/ClubTwit if you're not a member. Even if you're not a member, you can still watch us do the show live. As I mentioned, YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Kick. After the fact, on-demand versions of the show at our website, twit.tv. We do audio and video. You can download it for free and watch it at your leisure. There is a YouTube channel, youtube.com/twit, obviously. Actually, all the shows have dedicated channels. You can go there and watch the show. Great way to share little clips with friends and family if you want to. It helps us if you do that. And it's a great way to say, hey, did you see this? And of course, you can subscribe. Probably that's the best way to do it. In your favorite podcast player, subscribe and you'll get it automatically for free. Whenever we're done, you can download it and start listening at your pleasure. I used to always say, download it first thing Monday morning for your Monday morning commute. But nowadays, many people commute upstairs. It's not such a long commute. It's a long show. So save it for that, I don't know, that ferry ride or something. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our wonderful panel, Gina, Denise, and Joey. We'll see you all next time. Right. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks so much.
As I've said for 21 years now, Gina, another Twit is in the can.
This
Bye-bye.
is amazing.